All right.
On the losing team.
You good?
Yep.
All right, 3, 2. What's going on, guys? It's DK. Here with my boy Sazi, Jake, and this is Not Your Average Casuals. All right.
DK Metcalf?
DeKalin Metcalf, thank you.
DeKalin
Metcalf. All right. So our first topic, we got. I'm surprised he doesn't have his Spider-Man style, Superman style. He's got the Brock Purdy jersey on. We're gonna go. Would you rather Brock Purdy edition? First guy up. We're gonna start with an easy one. Justin Herbert or Brock Purdy?
Justin Herbert.
Easy.
We've had this argument before. Listen, is Justin Herbert good?
Yes.
Yeah. But has Brock Purdy proved it? Yeah. So I'm taking Purdy. I'm taking what's proven.
How is Purdy? Like, what has Purdy proved that Herbert hasn't?
He's at the Super Bowl.
With the best defense in the NFL, with
Which
the
is
best
proving
running
it.
back in
Which
the
is
NFL.
proving it.
Yeah, but we had this discussion also with Russell Wilson and Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, but
Russell Wilson had the best defense in the league and the best running back in the league. So if we're going to make that same comparison, then bring it over all the way
Yeah,
to
and
Brock
guess
Purdy.
what?
And then you add Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk and George Kittle. Those are all weapons that are surrounding you. Justin Herbert has done it with a constantly injured Keenan Allen, a constantly injured Mike Williams. He put up 35 in the playoffs. The only people that let him down is his
But
defense.
he hasn't done it.
It's a team game.
It's a 100% a team
But
game.
Purdy's done it. He's proved it.
So Russell Wilson's proved it? Russell Wilson's better than Purdy in my
With a
opinion.
good team around him, he's proven it, yes.
Yeah,
Russell Wilson over Brock Purdy.
Prime Russell Wilson over Brock
Prime
Purdy.
Russell
Wilson over Brock Purdy. I'm taking that 1,000%. Because if you're really going in with, like, the weapons don't matter that much, like, Russell Wilson only had Doug Baldwin and Tyler Lockett during his run versus a Deebo Samuel who's running the ball.
He does have a ring. He does have a ring, and Brock doesn't have one yet.
Brock does not have a ring yet. No, and Russell Wilson's been to 2. And really, like, the Seahawks won that game against the Patriots. It was just that last play.
Brock could have been.
They dominated that team, and I'm a Patriots fan.
Do you think that's a great follow-up question? Do you think the Niners would have won that Super Bowl if Brock Purdy, if they would have ran the Super Bowl and won it this rookie year if Brock played?
I definitely think they would have got to the Super Bowl. I thought they would beat the Eagles.
You think they were beating the Eagles? Do you think they would have won the Super Bowl the year in that Eagles Chiefs Super Bowl? Because Jalen Hurts played lights out. They still didn't beat the Chiefs.
That Chiefs that year was like the Chiefs that won it this year was a nerf version of the Chiefs of that year.
Yeah,
and the fact that they won
that's true. And they lost this year to a better, for all intents and purposes, a worse Chiefs team.
Yeah, so I don't know. That's tough.
I don't think anyone would have beat the Chiefs that year.
I don't think the Eagles win that game with a healthy quarterback on the 49ers.
My only real counter to it is how do you explain the Eagles dominating them when they did play them this year in the regular season when they dominated the Eagles?
You talking about when the 49ers dominated the Eagles?
No, the Eagles dominated the 49ers.
No.
Didn't
the
they?
49ers destroyed
49ers destroyed them.
I
Jalen
remember,
Hurts was on a bad ankle, and
Debo was like, "We told you if we ran it back." We ran it back. Debo.
I don't know why. I think I got it mixed up here. Hold on. Yeah, 49ers schedule, and it pulls up the Charlotte 49ers. Everybody's talking about.
I'm trying to think, what was the game that Nick Sirianni was like, "Oh, I'm in, like, it's me, like, we're back."
We're back.
Yeah, was that when they played the Niners?
I promise.
Or not the Niners, the Chiefs in the regular season?
The 49ers.
Oh, I'm not questioning. I think I probably am off base about it, but I'm just. Yeah, it was 42-19. That's right.
It was bad.
Bodied.
Yeah, it was bad.
That Eagles team.
They beat the Cowboys as well, right?
No, they lost bad to the Cowboys, didn't they? No, they beat the Cowboys bad. I keep getting these flip-flopped.
Yeah.
They beat the Cowboys bad.
I remember what's his name was talking shit on the Cowboys.
Oh, Michael Parsons always says the most
Not
out-of-pocket
Michael
things.
Parsons. I can't remember his name.
Not Dak.
He was talking smack on. He was friends with Debo at one point.
You talking Trayvon Diggs?
No.
Who was it? Is it a defensive player or an offensive player?
I believe it was defensive.
A defensive player, so like maybe
DeMarcus
J-Ron
Lawrence?
Hurst or DeMarcus Lawrence.
I can see DeMarcus Lawrence saying some shit.
Deron Bland.
You can say his name right. I can remember.
We're just not going to remember.
I just remember it was like all over.
So yeah, I think
Yes.
that's valid to question if they would, because the only time we've really seen Brock fall apart, I do think the Ravens this year were the best defense he's probably played in his entire career, and I think we saw most quarterbacks fold against that.
And
Most quarterbacks folded against that defense.
Defense is probably the reason that cost him his chance of beating Lamar out in MVP talks.
I just don't think there's a feasible way The numbers would have to be so unbalanced for Brock to win it because most valuable player at its core is who's the most valuable to their team. Lamar means so much more to the Ravens than Brock does to the 49ers. Yeah. That's not to say Brock's bad, but I just mean in terms of value, he's so much more valuable to them.
I still put Brock top 10 for sure. I don't think that Justin Herbert is worse than Brock Purdy. I think Justin Herbert's better. I think if you replace Herbert with Purdy in that 49ers offense, I think first of all, they have the number one offense in the league, and on top of that, they win that Super Bowl.
It is very hypothetical. It's very
but with Purdy, we know.
But we've seen Justin Herbert
because we've watched it on TV.
So
we've seen him do it.
My thing that I want to kind of point out, and like again, I'm a Justin Herbert fan, and I'm genuinely curious on your guys, and I'm just trying to present all the points to you guys. We've seen, so for what we perceive as Brock Purdy's peak is what he put up last year. We've seen what we perceive as Justin Herbert's peak. They're very similar peaks, but Justin Herbert had so much less going on for him when he put a similar peak up, is like what I think the point is, in my opinion, is
but
we've seen him put up.
I've heard people talk like, oh, Dak's numbers are stat padded, even though he's in the playoffs.
But that's statistically backed because when we looked at their schedule last week on the pod, he really did put up good numbers against like the Panthers and the Giants and the Commanders, teams that are picking top 5
that'd
in the
be
draft.
interesting. I don't know if it'd be interesting what numbers Herbert put up against what teams at their time.
I mean,
he did it every year, so you can't really. But
yeah, and he missed time this year too. So
is he doing it against good teams, or is he?
Well, if we look, they played against the Vikings. Obviously, as a Vikings fan, the defense that the Vikings had at the end of the year was not the same. The Vikings defense at the end of the year was not the same as the start of the year, but he did put 400 yards up on our defense.
It was,
The Dallas defense, he put up 227. The Chiefs, he put up 260 yards on the Chiefs.
Chiefs have a good defense. Dallas has a good defense.
So, just out of curiosity, would you say Brock Purdy's a better quarterback than Josh Allen? Because Josh Allen hasn't done it.
Josh Allen
hasn't done it.
But he's made noise in the playoffs. Herbie hasn't.
And Josh Allen keeps getting kicked out by the literal Super Bowl champion.
That's true, except the year that the Bengals... You think the Bengals have the Chiefs number, or do you think that was a fluke?
I think Joe Burrow is amazing, and I think he could do it again.
Beat the Chiefs again.
I think that's turning into a situation for me where I don't know if they have a team around Burrow anymore to beat the Chiefs.
Mixon's gone, and that was like a huge point
and they let Jesse Bates go. The defense didn't look the same without Jesse Bates.
That safety hole was large.
And Tyler Boyd is a free agent. We don't know if they're going to bring him back, but they haven't to this point.
Yeah,
I don't know. Burrow just needs to stay healthy.
Where are the Bengals drafting in the...
I know that I think they're primed for a trade up, but I want to say they're around 18.
18?
So they're like middle of the pack.
Do they
obviously Lamar's my guy. I got the Lamar jersey on this week for the pod. If I'm the Bengals, I'm doing everything to go get Brock Bowers.
Brock Bowers
on the Bengals would be insane.
You say Brock Purdy for a second.
No,
that's the
I'm doing everything.
That,
that's the Jets want him, so they would have to go up and get him. And I also think he's a really good fit with the Colts too. Is another fit for Brock.
He's the best
Bowers.
tight end in the draft right now.
He's the best tight end prospect since Kyle Pitts. And even the thing is, not to get so off topic when we talk about quarterbacks, but Brock Bowers is close enough to Kyle Pitts as a receiving prospect that the difference in blocking is what puts Brock over the top for me. He's a good blocker. He's a good blocker. Huge. Kyle Pitts is really... He's not a horrible blocker, but he's a bad blocker with a really good receiver. So, yeah, he's kind of like Gronk, but what I see from Brock Bowers is his speed isn't as good as Pitts, but he's sneaky enough with his burst that he takes away cutoff angles. Safeties take angles to take a tight end out, and he accelerates and eliminates your angles.
Yeah, I think he won't have that in the NFL,
speed doesn't...
I don't know that he won't have it in the NFL.
Dude, I mean, the difference between safeties and linebackers in the NFL versus college is night and day. I mean, like, Lamar is the only guy I've really seen go to the NFL, and I'm like, wow, he's still...
The game-breaking speed is still game-breaking.
It's still game-breaking, yeah. Like him, when Ezekiel Elliott first came in, he was actually, just blew me away, even though I hate Ezekiel Elliott.
So we talked Justin Herbert or Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy or Dak Prescott?
Brock. Yeah, I don't like Dak Prescott. I think he's super overrated. I think he gets been carried by his running game for years.
I think they both had good teams, and went head to head, and Brock dominated.
Yeah, and Dak just he just doesn't have that gene in him that is clutch. I mean, the amount of fourth quarter picks he'll throw is it's almost incredible. Like you see it and you're like, really again? Like that's
approaching Kirk Cousins
territory in the playoff game in the first
Against
quarter.
Yeah, that's true.
He's approaching Kirk Cousins territory.
And
I'm
then how
starting
do
to
you
think
as a
he just
defense
chokes.
go into a game when your quarterback's already thrown 2 picks and you're like, really, man?
Like, what am I doing
Like,
here?
what's the point anymore? And then they get picks, I believe, the game, and they try to bring it back, and Dak's like, no, here's another one.
Yeah. The other thing that I've heard is and this is to go to your point, Brock Purdy is a winner. Like, he knows how to win. A part of it is when you enter the league and you're on a winning team.
He's also gotten better at scrambling.
He's Burrow-esque
In
with
the
his
playoffs,
scrambling. He's a better athlete than people give him credit for.
Yeah, he can get 5 or 6 when he needs to. But I think that Brock Purdy is just a better leader than Dak. I don't think Dak's a great leader. I don't see the leadership qualities there.
I think his teammates think of him kind of how Russ has, where they almost think it's corny a little bit to an extent.
Yeah, I agree. You don't have to be quiet or anything, just so you know.
Okay, I won't be then.
All right.
Also, I'm leaving, so it's fine.
So this
you
one-
go to class?
This one, I don't want you guys to just think right now. I want you to think for the future because I think there's probably a clear answer, but it's closer than people will want to say. Brock Purdy or Trevor Lawrence?
Brock.
Because Trevor Lawrence, we did see him, that huge comeback against Herbie and the Chargers, and we also saw him almost take down Patrick Mahomes.
They were
his
first seed
round.
for a while this year.
They were.
And they were about the first seed. They fell off once Trevor Lawrence got hurt and was playing on a bad leg, and Christian Kirk went out for the year. That's when they fell off.
Are we talking? Let's talk 5 years down the line. Are we talking these guys are on the same team?
Or I mean,
are they
if
still
you
on the
were
Niners,
if you
or are
were
they
building
still
a
on the
team
Niners?
around one of them for the future right now, which one would you rather?
That's what I just keep thinking of it like you're not building a bad team. Obviously, in my head, I'm thinking you're building a good team.
I think of it like a clean
Back.
slate. This is the first person you pick.
You might not be building a super team like the 49ers. But
No, but you're building around the quarterback is the first thing you choose.
Quarterback, and I can give him good weapons. I'm picking Brock. But this is again, I'm a big I believe in Brock.
You have a bias.
Yeah.
The thing, I just think people are so quick to forget that Trevor Lawrence really almost took down the Chiefs last year. He really did play great against the Chiefs and almost took them down in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And that was the year, we're talking the year that they dominated everyone, basically, including Philly, where Patrick Mahomes looked unstoppable, and Trevor Lawrence went punch for punch with him most of that game.
No, Trevor Lawrence is really good.
He's so inconsistent.
It's like
too.
him and Herbert are like 2 peas in a pod, in my opinion.
I think
Like,
he has a lot
the-
more help than
The
Justin.
luck around them
Herbert.
is just
Yeah,
bad.
Herbert is a lot better than Trevor Lawrence. I would still take Purdy over Trevor Lawrence personally.
The
I think it's-
glazing for Herbert is crazy.
I don't think it's glazing so much as I'm just very anxious, eager to
seen him
see.
do stuff
I'm
with
eager to
nobody.
see him get as much help as these other quarterbacks get and see what happens.
Yeah, I've just
Because
seen
maybe we're wrong and this is as good as he's ever going to be. But I think we've seen him put up 4,000 yards and 30-some touchdowns with Keenan Allen, who's hurt every year. Mike
Austin.
Williams hasn't been healthy in
Keenan Allen
years.
is a lot better than people give him credit.
Oh yeah,
We're not
Keenan
saying he's
Allen's
bad. We're saying he
fantastic.
can't stay healthy. He
Yeah,
never plays
he
full
plays-
season.
He plays
Austin
7 games a
Eckler
year.
was the number 1 running back.
This year he was horrific. He was horrific.
He
in
lost like a
Injury
full
that
3
destroyed him.
miles.
But he's had number 1 running back years. Like
in fantasy, but you have to realize
that's what
fantasy
catches and
football,
shit.
those 5-yard catches look really good in fantasy. It's 1.5 points. That's not helping Justin Herbert when you catch a 3-yard pass, 4-yard pass.
Yeah,
that doesn't help.
Austin
It's just
Eckler's
check
definitely
downs.
helping him out there. No.
He's not hurting it. Well, this year he was hurting.
I mean,
it
yeah,
because
like
of
the
that.
same amount
But
of McCaffrey,
I just-
if not more.
If you
McCaffrey's
put up,
more.
someone can be a worse fantasy running back and be a better running back to have on your team. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, Christian McCaffrey was number 1 this year, and you're definitely
Derrick Henry's not as good of a fantasy running back as Austin Eckler because he doesn't catch passes, but he's way better than Austin Eckler.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
But Derrick Henry hardly ever catches
he
passes
beat Austin Eckler on fantasy this year.
this year because Eckler was hurt.
Yeah.
But I mean,
that's the
like,
thing, is
but
if-
that's Derrick Henry
if
is
Eckler
not
was-
as doesn't have the
if Eckler
fantasy
was
upside of a
healthy-
pass catching back.
And Keenan Allen's healthy. These are ifs.
That's huge
Herbert
ifs
has
too
help.
because they're not.
Don't sit here and say he doesn't have help. He's got good players. His defense doesn't help him. That's where I think.
I agree. I mean, having Joey
even-
Bosa
but, like,
and
Mike
Khalil Mack
Williams-
and Derwin James Jr. and just having like a horrendous defense is ridiculous.
Well,
That's
and
ridiculous.
people bring up Mike Williams. He legitimately has not played meaningful snaps in 2 years.
And then they
Yeah.
bring in that coach to help the defense. 'cause
Brandon
he's
Staley, and
defensive
he was
coach.
awful.
horrible. I was so happy when
So
he got fired.
this
I
year
was
feels
so
like
happy.
the start of where we truly see Justin Herbert because I know mass exodus of all of his weapons. But Jim Harbaugh is an elite coach.
Well,
Yes.
clearly their idea is that they see something in the rookie receiver that they have.
Oh, and Quentin Johnston.
He had a bad couple draws, but they see something.
I think they take Malik Neighbors, and then we really start to see Justin Herbert with an elite after-the-catch receiver, and they sign J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards, who we know are good running backs when J.K. Dobbins is on the field.
Yeah.
And Jim Harbaugh, who has won at every level he's coached at. I think I'm not ready to say, if Herbert doesn't have a great year this year, then he's not great. But we're starting to creep up on, like, you have to do something now.
Well, another person, Brock Purdy's also going to have to prove it this year. So
the two most similar situations in the NFL, in my opinion, Brock Purdy or C.J. Stroud.
I think
Stroud.
I think anyone that says Stroud is recency bias, and that's taking.
I don't know if you can do any recency bias because both of these quarterbacks really haven't. Brock's played a season and a half. Stroud's played a season.
Yeah.
He's played, 8 more games than C.J. Stroud? It's not recency bias. They both haven't put a lot of film out.
Yeah, that's true.
And the only real difference in these teams is that the Texans' defense is definitely not as good as the 49ers, but they both have elite weapons now.
The Texans have better, defensive coordinator and coach.
I mean, yeah, but they just lost their defensive captain and their sacks leader to the Vikings for old Daniil Hunter.
They were holding that Chiefs for a while in the playoffs.
Until it broke, and then the season.
But I don't think we can act like Fred Warner and Hufanga aren't better than everyone on the Texans defense.
But then Fred Warner.
Charvarius Ward would be the number one corner there. Stingley is great. Stingley's great.
Defense got nerfed after the injury.
Oh, Dre Greenlaw going down was heartbreaking. Yeah.
And just running into the game.
Yeah.
I honestly and then when you look at the stats, you see the ball was passed to the backup of Dre Greenlaw, 80% of the time.
Yeah. They tore that side of the field.
So, Jake, who do you take here? You like
Stroud.
Brock?
I like Stroud a lot. A big part of it is I'm looking 2 years in the future. When I look 2 years, Nico Collins and Tank Dell are still there. If I look at 2 years in the future for the Niners, are Debo, McCaffrey, Bosa, Warner, and are they are they all still there? That's a lot of money. I know
Nico's out now. So
yeah. I mean,
is Nico going to keep having years like this?
I think so. Especially when you add Stephon Diggs, you're not putting the weight on him as much.
Some people argue Diggs might hurt more than he helps.
That's why
it's going to be a big thing to watch. For sure.
Yeah, and we can talk about this later. But that's why I like having Diggs there because I feel like I'm hoping that Diggs becomes a veteran.
So I think I'd take Stroud because he's younger, and I think they're very similar, and I'm just going to go with the younger guy. They both put up great numbers and have good talent around them now and have shown, obviously not to Brock's level with Stroud's playoff success, but he came in and looked just as good as a rookie quarterback in the playoffs as Brock did when he was a rookie in the playoffs. And I know Brock's got cut short by injury.
Sure.
CJ ran into the buzzsaw that was the Ravens. They both looked good as rookie quarterbacks in the playoffs. I would just give it to Stroud because I think he's got. I don't think it's really debatable to say he has better arm talent. That's not to say he's like a better passer in every way. He has more arm talent naturally, and he's younger. But Brock is. It's very
size is a big
talent
thing too.
Is such a broad word.
Well, I mean, you go back to Brock Purdy went into Iowa State college football head. Here, Brock Purdy went in as not a touted recruit to Iowa State. C.J. Stroud attended the Elite 11 as a 3-star and left as a potential 5-star with D1 offers that was the Elite 11 MVP. And he took that away from quarterbacks that are in the NFL now. Bryce Young was there and ended up going first overall. Those quarterback specialists watched C.J. Stroud come in as a 3-star and said, that guy is it. Yeah, and Brock didn't make the...
Bryce Young and C.J. were put in, if you ask, what Bryce Young was put in a blender, C.J. Stroud was at least put in something workable.
Yeah.
People didn't... That wasn't the narrative coming into the season, though. Coming into the season, the Texans were supposed to be picking top 5.
Well, that's because the coach knew he was.
I don't think anyone saw Nico and Tank breaking out like that. I think we all thought they could be good, but they were incredible.
Yeah, they were.
No, I don't disagree. I think if the Texans had a healthy Tank, it might have been a different game for them in the playoffs too.
Do you think if you traded Stroud and Bryce Young's rookie years, how do you think those guys each play? Personally,
I definitely think Bryce plays a lot better anywhere else that has,
other than Carolina.
Yeah.
I think CJ Stroud.
Unless you put him on the command.
Do you think CJ would have won more games for the Panthers than Bryce did?
This is a tough question because I think what would have happened is what the Panthers saw is they saw Bryce Young and they were like, all right, this kid's going to need a couple years to develop to the NFL speed. Let's just coast this year out and get a good draft pick. If CJ Stroud is in there, they're like, this kid has talent, we should go and try and trade for a receiver.
Say Bryce Young
think-
doesn't have talent. Is great.
No, I don't think it's that he doesn't have talent. I think it's
just
that
more
like when you look at the raw physical abilities,
He's
CJ's bigger. He has
I
a
was about to say,
stronger
the
arm.
only
He's a
thing that
similar
CJ
athlete.
has on Bryce Young is size.
And
He has
arm
he has a
and
better
speed.
arm than Bryce Young. Bryce's mechanics are just a little bit flawed in the way that it looks like it takes more effort for him to drive the ball. CJ just flicks the wrist and it goes.
Yeah, Bryce
Bryce-
is like a shorter two.
The frame hurts him because he has to put oomph into the ball to drive it. I saw him try to drive curl routes and hitch routes, and it just looked hard. And CJ, that never happens.
I feel like Miles Sanders should be an example of how difficult it was for Bryce Young over there, because Miles Sanders on the Eagles was good.
The Eagles' offensive line is the best.
And
And
the-
then he
the Panthers
tossed on
was
the
so
Panthers.
Yeah.
He looked like Miles Sanders couldn't get a yard a game. Like,
Yeah.
This will be a big year for Bryce Young because they just paid $100 million plus to 2 guards and traded for Deontay Johnson. If he's just as bad,
Yeah,
it's
the-
over. Like
I
it's
feel
not
like-
over in the sense
yeah.
that he's a bust, but they clearly should have took CJ Stroud
yeah,
or even Richardson at that
He's
point.
like, time is like massive for a quarterback.
Yeah.
It is, and this is like one of the biggest things one of the issues I have with the NFL sometimes is you get a kid like Bryce Young and you get a kid like CJ Stroud. Bryce Young, you probably should put him behind somebody for a couple years. Like he
He needed to put on size and learn the
like
game.
if you throw him behind,
need to be behind somebody. Even
But CJ Stroud wasn't most rookies is what's such a bad
I
thing
think it was
for them.
an exception. I think because they've got a good coach. I think because they got a good O-line. Not the best, but definitely a good one.
People have to realize some quarterbacks, like Josh Allen, took 2-3 years where he was not a good passer. He was just a rushing threat for the most part before he blew up. Patrick Mahomes sat behind a starter and Alex Smith for a year.
yeah,
Not everyone comes in and is Joe Burrow and Justin
I was about
Herbert.
to say, like,
Not everyone
Carl
comes in.
Herbert, CJ,
Even Purdy got to sit behind Jimmy G for like 8 games and
Yeah.
yeah, and Jimmy
learn.
G
Like,
was literally that system
Aaron
quarterback,
Rodgers didn't
and
start
so
till
he's
he was
like, this is what you do.
25, 26.
yeah, and Jordan Love, like
Behind
not every
Rodgers.
quarterback is going to come in and be your Joe Burrow, your Justin Herbert, your CJ Stroud.
Yeah,
And I
even
think
Russell
that's
Wilson.
okay. Like people need to just be okay with that.
Yeah.
Sam Donald's 25.
I mean, yeah, as a Vikings fan, I think we're gonna go get JJ McCarthy or Drake May, and Vikings fans won't want to hear
I
it. I
worry-
want them to start Sam Darnold. I don't want to
I
throw a rookie
worry
quarterback
about-
in the fire.
JJ, because his team was so good around him.
He's college Brock Purdy.
It's true.
He's
Yeah.
college Brock
Yeah,
Purdy.
he did it all.
He statistically was very good in
Oh, I
college.
see what you're saying.
He was very good. He
I
didn't
was
make
gonna say,
mistakes.
in college, Brock Purdy did not have a team like
No, he
No,
was
yeah.
he's the college parallel where people constantly criticize Brock for playing with an elite team, and even though he has really good numbers, they're like, well, he doesn't do what Mahomes does. He doesn't know what Allen does. People did the same thing with JJ. He didn't have to do what Caleb Williams did. He didn't have to deal with Drake Mays, but he won. Like he won, and he looked good while he was doing it. So I think it's
Yeah.
very similar, but in the college
I see what
game.
you're saying now. Yeah, honestly, that's why I'm
I'm really high on JJ
where it's
McCarthy
like,
because
yeah.
we're watching Brock Purdy do it. Like, so
the take that people are like, why wouldn't you build weapons around your quarterback is crazy.
that's when people, why would you, just having an elite quarterback does not mean you should deprive them. Just because it means you can surround them with less doesn't mean you should actively do that.
Yeah.
What the Bills are doing with Josh Allen, just because he's elite doesn't mean you should make him play elite all
Josh
the
Allen
time.
took a pay cut, right?
He did, which I was super happy about.
I thought that was so they could get another receiver to pair with Diggs,
And they
not
just
get
did.
rid of Diggs and
Yeah.
gave Davis both. Yeah.
No, have you guys seen anything about like Dak and Tua? I think about to get contracts, and they're looking for like max extensions, and the league is kind of working with teams being like, we're not doing this max extension anything for every quarterback.
The
Why is-
Dolphins aren't extending Tua. They haven't expressed like anything in
Yeah,
doing it.
yeah.
I don't know if they will. I wouldn't be shocked to see them draft if a Michael Penix or a Bo Nix falls to the second round. I wouldn't think it's that crazy
No.
to take him.
To be honest, though, like with inflation and everything, the salary cap should be going up, and it's not.
Well, it is going up every year. It goes up.
Oh, does
Yeah.
it?
Yeah,
they
it
modify
actually
the
matches
leagues.
inflation. It has like a 10% increase every
Oh, okay.
year.
I didn't know that.
I
Yeah.
think in Tua's case more than Dak's, but in both cases, I think the reason they're not getting contracts is because teams are saying like, this is a good quarterback class. Who's to say a JJ McCarthy, a Bo Nix, a Michael Penix doesn't fall to the teens? And we're like, you know what? I'm not going to give you $40 million a
Yeah.
year. I'll go draft a guy that does just the same things.
And you still
Plus,
get them for
CJ's
4
kinda
years.
proven that. Plus, like, I get how important the quarterback position is, but like, it feels like these quarterbacks are getting to the point where they're getting like greedy to the point where they're like, I want all the money on my team. And then their teammates can't get anything.
That's why Russell Wilson originally, the Seahawks got rid of him. Because he kept just being another max contract. And it's Doc, you're 32 now.
And I get he had max contract play, but at what point do you want to win?
Yeah.
Look at
Brady.
LeBron take constant little $20 million deals from the Lakers in the NBA to be go get me some help.
Yeah.
Go sign me a help.
Brady took a pay cut when he went to the Bucs.
Yeah.
Brady took a pay cut every year of his career. He never had a max contract in his entire career.
Because it's if you're, what baffles me is it's you can make good money on your contract, sure. Do you realize how much money you could make in sponsorships if you're a winning quarterback?
Yeah. That's my whole thing with the Caitlin Clark stuff right now. People are they need to pay her more, and I'm first of all,
that Nike deal was crazy. It was well deserved.
Well deserved. I agree 100%. But people need to stop complaining, especially when the WNBA just does not get viewers.
I think in a few years, Caitlin Clark will probably have ramped their revenue up that they maybe rework her deal and she gets a lot more. But right now, there's not money to go around for them to pay her a big contract. We want to talk about the gamble that both sides took, knocking that down to a 1-year deal. And I want you guys to kind of weigh in. Who is it a bigger risk for, the Texans or Diggs, to knock off the remaining years on that deal?
Diggs. I think it's a way bigger risk for Diggs. He's 31 now, 32. He's getting in those really later years of being a receiver. I don't think he's like Julio Jones, where he can just be a good route runner and catch the ball in big situations. I think Diggs needs to be that guy, and I think he's risking a lot. And I think teams are going to see it this year, but I don't see him getting a bag for more than 2 years of an extension.
Bigger risk for the Texans or Diggs?
Diggs, because they still got Nico and Tank Dell. There's not much risk.
That's the Texans, and it's only a second.
There's not much risk for the Texans.
The risk, in my opinion, the hypothetical risk here is if I pose this situation for you, say the Texans run to the AFC Championship. They don't go to the Super Bowl. They lose in the AFC Championship to, I assume, the Chiefs, because that's always what it is. But Stephon Diggs puts up 1,400 yards, and C.J. Stroud has incredible numbers. You really shot yourself in the foot a little bit, because Diggs is going to ask for a fortune. And if you don't give it to him, someone will. Someone will throw a Calvin Ridley bag at Stephon Diggs if he has a 1,400-yard season. And then you lose him for nothing, and who knows if you get back to the AFC Championship. That's the risk that I don't think it's as great as the risk of Diggs putting up 900 yards and having to take a 1-year deal somewhere else.
But the Texans aren't having to eat the rest of his contract, are they? It's
I think the Bills and Texans split it, was part of the deal, as they split it.
Okay. Because if the Texans ate that contract, definitely the Texans bigger risk. Yeah. But because it was split between them, I don't know why you.
Well, they knocked off the remaining years. Diggs just agreed to waive them. Mm-hmm. He was just we'll go down to a 1-year deal.
Yeah. I still think it's a bigger risk for Diggs. But I could see a universe where Nico Collins, Tank Dell, and Stephon Diggs actually are working really well together, and now they need a veteran receiver who's still the number one guy while these other two develop. And if you need him for 2 more years, you might ask for 20-25. And that's a 20-25 mil is a lot of money. I mean, Tyreek got 30?
That's kind of the time to do it, though, isn't it? Because Derek Stingley's on his rookie deal. C.J. Stroud's on a rookie deal.
That's true.
Dell and Nico or Nico's about to be off, but Dell's on a rookie deal. I guess if you're going to pay a guy 20-25 over 2 years, now's when you do it. Yeah. Before CJ needs to get paid. Almost like the Niners, if you're going to pay guys like Fred Warner and Debo and McCaffrey.
Do it now.
Do it now before Brock needs money. You pay the guys while you've got rookie deals.
I don't think Brock is going to ask for a max.
I don't think he asked for a max, but I don't think people understand. Brock wants to win. Brock wants to be treated like the good quarterback he is. And
paid like one for people to think you are one.
Yeah, and I think not only that, I wonder how much Brandon Ayuk's situation is weighing on Brock Purdy. Because what they're essentially doing with Ayuk is, my understanding is that the problem with the Brandon Ayuk contract is that he's so good in the regular season, but he has 1 touchdown in 9 playoff games. And so they want to wait 1 more year and see him do it in the playoffs this year potentially. But if I'm Brock Purdy, say they go out this year, have another 49ers year. It's a great year. They don't win the Super Bowl, though, or they get there and they lose.
Again.
Are they going to do the same thing to Brock Purdy and say, until we see you win a Super Bowl, if I'm Brock Purdy, that's insulting.
Yeah.
If they try to do to me what they're doing to Brandon Ayuk, I'm insulted if I'm Brock Purdy.
Lamar's getting a bag. He's never won a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
That's true.
fair. And
Yeah.
he's a 2-time MVP.
Yeah.
Like, and that's so. I'm like, if Brock's been to an NFC Championship game and a Super Bowl and whatever he does this year, and they're still hesitant to pay him, that's a really bad look on the 49ers.
Yeah.
The only thing
agree.
I worry for Brock is because of the bias of like how it's his weapons carry him, other teams might also not be willing to be like, we want you.
I wonder if teams are going to smoke screen it almost though, because like a really crazy hypothetical to think about is the Dolphins. If the Dolphins don't want to pay Tua because they think he's a game manager, and they put that out there,
Purdy
now
would
people
fit.
start to look at Brock and say, well, if Tua's a game manager, maybe Brock's a game manager. And then the Dolphins paid Brock, that team would be insane.
Yeah.
That team would be insane.
Yeah.
If you had Devon Achane, who's young, and Jalen Waddle, who's young, and Tyreek, who's still incredible.
Yeah, Tyreek would be on like I think his last year.
And then you also got
I think you said he wanted to retire with the Dolphins.
Dolphins defense is really good.
And so
With
I think
Jalen
it's a
Ramsey.
situation where teams kind of have to look over their shoulder because in the NFL, people don't give enough credit to when reports come out. Sometimes it's a smokescreen. Like in the NFL draft, someone will tell you, even last year, someone will tell you like, oh, Anthony Richardson might go first overall. That could have very well been a smokescreen for someone to try to get someone to trade up thinking that they're a
Caleb
first.
Williams is a smokescreen. I'm
I
calling
think-
it right here, right
I
now.
wonder in the current draft. I wonder if all the Jaden Daniels to the Commanders talk is a smokescreen because I feel like nothing has changed with Drake May to make him not go second. So I wonder if it's a smokescreen to get some team to get eager and jump way higher than they need to for Jaden McDaniels
Yeah.
or Jaden Daniels, not Jaden.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels. That could be true. I've seen a lot of people start putting Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams at 1A and 1B.
And
it blows my mind.
He's
to
my
be honest.
QB4.
Yeah, I don't.
And it's close that he's QB 5 or 6 with Bo and Michael Penix.
Yeah, I will say his toughness is pretty incredible because I've seen him take some rocks in college football.
The IQ in terms of like sliding and getting down is really bad.
Yeah,
and
it is.
really worrying.
I
Yeah.
was gonna say like that's not really a good thing.
No,
I mean, it's good.
not.
It's good that he's durable, but he just shouldn't have to put it on tape if he ran
Yeah,
smart.
but durable in college and durable in the NFL are two very
Yeah, we
different
saw
things.
Anthony Richardson get hurt after what 2 or
And he's
he got
huge.
hurt. Yeah,
You
Anthony
get
Richardson.
rocked by Max Crosby, you're not getting back up.
Yeah, if Jaden McDaniels or Jaden Daniels, any of those shots he took, like week 1 against Florida State,
Yep, that was
if
a
that's
huge
Max
shot.
Crosby, if that's Nick Bosa, Myles Garrett, TJ Watt,
Like it's
you're not getting up.
Yeah,
You won't get up if you take a shot like that.
Yeah. Or you even like scramble
like
around
Aaron
and
Rodgers that one time.
With the chin strap on his nose.
Yeah. Like,
Oh,
Or Stafford. With this,
Oh,
like,
the
last
Stafford
year.
rib shot against the Lions. So staying in football, but shifting just for a moment to the college football plane a little bit. I know this is more my area, but I'm curious what you guys as NFL fans who are somewhat college fans think. Is NIL and after that transfer portal, is it ruining college football?
1,000%.
Yeah,
Yes.
because it's kids.
They're
These are-
kids.
These
Yeah.
are 18, 17, 19-year-old kids that are like thinking like I can go make a bag, and it's
I think they should be paid, but I don't think
Yeah.
the way we're doing it is working.
Right. I think.
they can get paid in high school now if you're good enough.
Yeah, which is
It's-
insane.
I wonder, and this is the perspective here too, is like I'm easier in terms of transfer portal and NIL, but also I'm an Oregon fan. We're a powerhouse who has financial backing.
Yeah.
Like grew up out here. Arizona State,
we get
they have, obviously it's a state school, they have finance. In terms of the football program, they don't have the money to throw around to pay guys to enter the portal or
good
NIL
at
teams.
recruiting good players, and then
And then they leave, and
Yeah.
they're leaving for the money to go to other like
Didn't Jaden
Jaden Rashada. Yeah, he did. But we just talked about Sean and I talked about they got 5-star Jaden Rashada, and he played sparingly this year. He looked good. He looked like a freshman quarterback, but he looked good. He's a 5-star for a reason. And he hit the portal. And I guarantee some coach from some other team got in his ear. He was originally committed to Florida, so he had SEC attention. Someone got in his ear and was like, "You looked solid at Arizona State. I'll pay you, and imagine what you can do at Georgia or Ohio
Right.
State." And that's where it creates an imbalance of power with these big Power 5 schools that can pay guys to leave small schools and come play.
That's where I think like just like the NFL salary caps and like
Yeah, and I also...
And it's not. It's so much more open with like tampering in the NFL.
And
It's a big
tough.
deal.
There's so many more athletes in college.
Yeah, and I think of guys like Cooper Kupp. Went to Eastern Washington University. The reason that the Rams ended up picking him was because they were like, okay, this kid has the fundamentals down. He works well with his team. He's been loyal throughout his college career. He didn't leave. And, I mean, Cooper Kupp's a top 5 receiver in the NFL. Maybe top 10 after this last year, only because of injury. That's the only reason I'm putting him back a little. But if you have guys like that who want to stay loyal. One? You put Cooper at 1?
But
But
in today's day and age, you start to run into like, would Cooper Kupp have left to go to Alabama for $20 million?
Or
Probably.
yeah.
Probably. Like, and
I
it's,
would. If someone told me I'd go to a different
I
school,
mean, and like I said,
would.
as a Ducks fan, we've picked up huge transfers. Our starting quarterback is Dylan Gabriel, who is a Heisman contender at Oklahoma, and our backup is 5-star Dante Moore from UCLA. The bag we probably paid just for those 2 quarterbacks alone is probably the budget of a school like an Arizona
What if they did
State.
something like where, like, not trades, but like, if you pull a quarterback from a school, you have to pay that
Compensation.
school's new quarterback like a salary
Compensation.
put
Or you
something
at
in
least
the
have to
contract.
help pay for them to try to go get another quarterback.
Yeah, like something where it's like, okay, you can transfer this quarterback. I think the only times where like skips can be made is where like, you know, like if you're a backup QB, you're not getting plays or something. But like say it's like a top quarterback that they're trying to buy off someone. You can't just buy that quarterback and be like, hey, we'll pay you, come here. You have to be like, hey, there has like maybe like something where it's like, okay,
Like a sit-down meeting with the school he's coming from.
yeah, like a trade almost where it's like, okay, we'll
Like in
get the
soccer,
quarterback,
how like you buy
Like a
people.
transfer, like
Yeah,
a transfer in soccer where you
Yeah.
pay them to take him.
and then you give them the school that's losing him something in return.
Yeah,
so
certain
like
amount of
either
money. You know,
some money to pay another quarterback, like you said, or I don't know, maybe you can even argue that
Or
there
a
is
scholarship. You have to give them an extra scholarship to go
Yeah.
get a quarterback.
trade. Yeah, like,
I
I would agree with that. I personally just think we should be stuck to like one transfer per college.
well, you
time
get a free
period.
one now, yeah.
I know,
And
you
you
get
have to
one
sit
free
out
one.
if it's the second one in the Super
Not
Bowl.
anymore.
If you have a waiver, you can waive the
Yeah,
second one.
yeah, and I don't
Um,
like that because college is about development, and whenever you go into the NFL, the reason that so many Alabama players are so good is because Nick Saban developed them. From
And they
a
trust the
freshman.
process.
Yeah, they literally trust the process. But then you get quarterbacks, and I'm not saying Justin Fields did this, but I feel like Justin Fields is going to be one of those guys that like drafted by the Bears, traded to the Steelers, signs free agent with the Browns. Like he's just going to jump around the NFL, and you you don't.
There's no-
Zach Wilson right now.
There's
Yeah,
no
a little bit,
consistency.
yeah. But there's just no loyalty,
country.
and there's
That's
no
right.
there's no thought
But
to
Zach Wilson thing.
there's no thought to development. It's a thought of win now all the time.
And get on the field now.
Yeah, but like UW for a long time was really bad, and the way they started getting good was like after 2009 or 2010. Who was that old USC coach? Larkin.
Oh, Lake.
Lake.
Chris Lake.
Yeah, Chris Lake. He came in and he literally was like, his seniors left and he was like, all right, this is our freshman team. We're going to start our freshman and
And
sophomore
we're gonna
guys.
suck, and it's going to
we're
hurt,
suck.
but we're going to get better.
Yeah, and then by the senior year when Jake Browning? Yeah, Jake Browning. By the time he was a senior, that team had developed. And then from there, they've just been able to kind of continue that process. So, like, you can do it with a bad college team, but
I mean,
not
Justin
in the
Herbert's first year at Oregon, he started as a true freshman, and they were awful, and he ended his career winning a Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes you have to ride it out. Like,
Yeah, and I think, like, kids need to learn that, too, at 19 and 18. You know what I mean? Going into the NFL at 21, and you're just like, I just always was.
because you've also got transfer situations like Joe Burrow, where he was at Ohio State, and every time he touched the field, he looked good, and they flat out told him, like, you're just never going to play here.
Yeah.
And then he leaves and finds national championship Heisman success somewhere else. So, like,
LSU. That is
it's
true.
not bad every time. Joe Burrow did wait his time and was finally just told you're not going to get a turn.
Yeah.
And then I think it's fine.
But that's why it's like one per.
Should be fired.
No way. Why would they fire him?
To be in the scope of college football, Joe Burrow is the best, but they produced first-round quarterbacks ahead of him.
Consistently.
Because they had Dwayne Haskins, RIP. He was a first-round quarterback who was throwing up. He got second for a Heisman. He was also incredible in college. It's not crazy.
But are they Joe Burrow in the NFL right now?
But that's the thing. You can't predict Joe Burrow.
No, in college,
And
good, and
here's
NFL,
here's
good are so
this, the
different.
hypothetical. It doesn't make any sense for them to bench Dwayne Haskins for Joe Burrow because as good as Joe Burrow is at Ohio State in those practices, the way you envision that, Joe Burrow's playing Heisman level stuff, right? Because he's Joe Burrow.
Mhm.
Dwayne Haskins was also putting up Heisman level stuff, but he was your starter. You have no reason to switch to another potential Heisman quarterback when this one was here first and isn't doing anything wrong.
Right.
They're not just going to bench a guy to bench a guy. That's why Justin Fields left Georgia. He got there as a freshman, and Jake Fromm was there. And Jake Fromm had them as a college football playoff team and looked great. Justin Fields also looked great every time he got on the field.
But he was just like, I'm
And
not
he
up
said,
for
I want to be the starter. I look great in practice. And they said, hey, man, Jake Fromm was here first and also looks great. He hasn't done anything to get benched. And he left. And obviously it worked out for Justin Fields, who was great at Ohio State, first-round draft pick.
Yeah, same thing
But
with Jalen Hurts and
there's
Alabama.
a certain element to college football with quarterbacks where there will be teams with no good quarterbacks and teams with 3 or 4 good quarterbacks. There was a point at Alabama where they had Jalen Hurts, Tua Tagovailoa, and Mac Jones in the same quarterback room.
Yeah.
And Jalen Hurts had to transfer, not because Jalen Hurts isn't good, but because
What do you
there's
do?
only one quarterback on the field at a time, guys.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
So it's
But you could put 2 out there.
So a couple interesting transfer portal topics I want to touch with you guys. The first one is, as I'm an Oregon fan, this is a big one for my team, is there's a lot of chatter going around in between UCLA fans and Oregon fans because Dante Moore, if you don't know who Dante Moore is, he's a 5-star quarterback that grew up playing college football or high school football in Michigan. He was supposed to be a Michigan guy. He was in their backyard. They didn't pick him up for whatever reason, and his final 2 were UCLA and Oregon. He committed to Oregon, and at the last minute, he flipped to UCLA.
He pulled the
Out of
Giants
left
out.
field. He flipped to UCLA. We were mad about it as Oregon fans. We were like, you know what? We have Bo Nix at the time. We had Ty Thompson at the time, who is now transferred out,
Mhm.
and we just took it on the chin. But what UCLA fans are angry about now, and I think there might be some fire behind this smoke, is he went to UCLA, he played some as a freshman, he worked through some freshman struggles, he threw some bad picks, he missed some easy passes. He stayed there for a year. They didn't switch coaches or anything. Or no, they did. Chip Kelly left, he went to the NFL. But before
Right.
he even left for the NFL, all of a sudden Dante Moore enters the portal and comes to Oregon. And so all of a sudden the UCLA fans are saying, you used us. You knew you weren't going to start over Bo Nix.
Yeah.
So you went to a school you would play for. And now that Bo Nix is gone, you're going to go to Oregon. And so I wonder if there's fire behind that smoke. How does that look as a Power 5 program? He won't start this year either with Dylan Gabriel, but he basically used UCLA in a way to
just
develop
get in.
himself. He
Yeah.
went in there, he got on the field, and he said, I was always going to Oregon. Because he went in the portal and immediately committed back to Oregon.
Yeah.
It was like the second he hit the portal, he even has said, as soon as I hit the portal, I knew where I was going. So
So he just used UCLA as like
in a way, yeah.
start to
He
develop. I mean,
went in there, he got through his struggles and went to a better team.
UCLA got almost like a 1-year deal, and then it was over.
don't love it.
That
See,
hurts
I
a
don't think-
smaller program in UCLA than
Yeah.
Oregon.
I think
where
that's okay if that's something that's told
if it's communicated to UCLA,
Yeah.
I'm leaving after
like, hey
this year.
UCLA, you need a starting quarterback.
I'll
I
do
need
it
a
for
year
a
to
year.
develop. Let me play with you guys for a year, but I will transfer back to Oregon. I think the reason he had to do it sneaky was because sometimes people are petty.
Well, and at the time, Oregon and even now after the conference realignment, Oregon and UCLA are both in the Big Ten now. So it's like a guy saying, "Hey, I'm going to start for the Cardinals this year because you need a receiver, but I'm signing with the Rams next year." They're like, "What? You're going to come go through your
that's
struggles with us and then go to a better team?"
That's what Diggs is doing right now.
not
Kind of.
really.
I don't know.
Not really.
He didn't use the Bills. I don't think he used the Bills because they really thought they were going to win. Like
Yeah,
really
they
thought they had
did.
a Super
No,
Bowl
but he's using the
chase.
Texans.
But he might stay with them if he keeps.
Maybe not by choice. I feel
But
like,
the other.
I mean,
There's
he got-
just something to be said about sticking with the team. Think about if I know Caleb Williams in his sophomore and junior year, that USC team was really good. But what if he transferred to Alabama? If he transferred to Alabama, I don't think we see him number 1. I think we see him top 7, top 8, because he has so many weapons on the field. But because of what he did at USC,
Because he achieved with what's perceived as less
Well, I think
horrible
it depends when he
defense.
Yeah,
transfers,
yeah.
Because if he transferred last year, I think it would have been fine. because last year he did all right.
He still is considered like one of the best picks last year, but
offensively he did great, but his defense was terrible. Not his defense.
Well, the defense under Lincoln Riley is just horrendous. He was awful at Oklahoma at defense too. It's just Lincoln Riley can't coach defense. Yeah. But the other huge one, and Jake and I talked about this a little bit before the pod, because this is really, really recent and really interesting, because Colorado has had a mass exodus of, I believe, 12 to 15 players transfer out. One of them is 5-star corner Cormani McLean, and Cormani McLean was supposed to be the duo to Travis Hunter at corner. 5-star, great athlete. Dion said about him hitting the portal, and even while he was at Colorado, it's not that Cormani can't play. It's not that he's not good enough. He doesn't give enough effort, and he's not doing enough to stay on the field. Cormani McLean hits the portal, and clearly things ended on somewhat of a sour note because Dion said he wasn't given enough, and Cormani McLean said he should have been on the field all the time. But he comes on a podcast earlier this week, or late last week, and says, I want to transfer to a team that doesn't play for clicks. And if you remember correctly, the Oregon-Colorado beef was that Dan Lanning said, they play for clicks. We play for wins. We're really out here trying to win games. And Cormani McLean echoed that and said, I'm leaving Colorado. I don't want to play for a team that plays for clicks. Now, is this him throwing shade at a team that he's angry at, or is there genuinely a culture at Colorado that they care more about NIL deals and going to the NFL and big, like, flexing the wristwatches like Shadur and being close with Dion than they do about winning?
I think that there is some fire behind that smoke. I think the fact that for you to go to Colorado, you have to talk to Shadur and Deion Sanders Jr. is ridiculous. I think that the Sanders kids are good. I don't think they should be in charge.
They posted on their socials that Shadur said, if you want to transfer to Colorado, like, hit my DM. You have to talk to me through my DM.
Yeah, you have to talk to me.
His son, who's the he's the quarterback, but he was like, you have to talk to me before you.
Like a joke.
It's just like the biggest coach's kid situation I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Shadur's so good.
And he's really good.
Like, what are we doing? What are they going to look like when Shadur leaves?
Yeah. And
what happens then? Is Dion gone when Shadur goes to the NFL?
Which I could totally see, to be honest, make Colorado a couple big bucks, and then Deion Sanders signs as like a defensive coordinator somewhere or something like that. I don't want that, but I don't know. But I think that Deion Sanders did say last offseason, before he started the season, that kids need to play for smaller schools so that they can really show their talent. And I think that is very true. And I think Corey Coleman, or what's
Cormani McLean.
Corey
Coleman, the Baylor legend.
Yeah. Cormani McLean. I think that he wants to win a championship. I think that's his big thing. And he saw at Colorado, like, they're not trying to win championships. They're trying to get kids in the best running back of all time.
We got our football talk in. And as football is always fun. Football is our sport, but we got the NBA playoffs.
We got the NBA playoffs.
And we should preface before we do any takes here, we're about an hour from tip-off of Wolves-Suns Game 2. So if we're going to talk Wolves-Suns. We might
money on that game.
We might be coming into the next week of the podcast way different from just an hour. Yeah, just an hour before our takes. But my first question for you guys is, which team is down bad the most in these playoffs, and who's down bad and has the most chance to rebound and come back?
Well, down bad not rebounding is Heat.
You think that Miami's cooked without Jimmy playing Boston?
Hero's struggling out there.
Yeah.
Bam's balling, but somebody has to.
Yeah.
Bam, like you said, it's because he has to. And then Pelicans are kind of, I don't know.
I don't see the Pelicans beating the Thunder, to be honest.
I think they steal one.
I think they steal one. I think so too, but I just don't see the Pelicans really doing anything because Zion's hurt, basically, right?
He is.
Yeah. And Brandon Ingram is nowhere to be found when the game's on the line. Which is
CJ McCollum was cooking, though.
He was cooking.
Herb Jones was trying, too, yeah.
CJ McCollum in the play-in was a joke. I put money on him to score like 12-plus points. Had like 6. I was like, dude, I remember when McCollum was one of the best scorers in the league, dude.
Yeah, the Blazers.
You know, I think that the Magic have the best chance of rebound right now.
I think so, against the Cavs?
Against the Cavs. The Cavs are really good. The Cavs I never bet on because...
The Cavs don't get talked about enough.
They don't. That team is tough.
But they've got DG the PG. They got Spida.
Yeah.
They got Jarrett Allen with the fro. And they got Evan Mobley, who's one of the best defenders in the league.
They're a good team. It's just like...
They don't have star power
People
other
are
than
so
Spida.
used to
Yeah.
LeBron being on that team. They're like,
They're just bad.
Other than
Yeah.
Spida, there's those guys. I love Darius Garland so much,
Me
but
too.
other than Spida, they just don't have super like star power.
Yeah, but
guys.
they have great team camaraderie. They remind me of that Jazz team that we were talking about.
Or even like the Hawks, Joe Johnson and Josh Smith.
yeah, just somehow making it work, you know. But I like the Magic a lot. I think Paulo Banchero is a fantastic player. I think, I think he's amazing. I want to see them come back. I think the biggest problem with the Magic is they just don't have 3-point
They
shooting.
need shooters.
Yeah, they're like.
You're a Suns fan. If you guys, at what point are the Suns cooked? In 1 to 10, how much trouble are they in right now after game 1?
If they-
Ahead of game 2 tip-off, 1 to 10, how worried are you? And then how many games would they have to lose before you're like, we're cooked?
If we lose our first home game, we're cooked.
If it's 3-0,
Yeah.
or what if it's 1-1?
3-0 is.
What if it's 1-1 and then they
2-1.
lose the game 3 in Phoenix?
I think
we're still cooked. There.
Yeah, I think
if we lose a home game, I think we have to win all our home games.
And then steal one in Minnesota, potentially one at least.
Minnesota's got some. I mean, you would know this out of anybody, but Minnesota NBA fans in the playoffs go nuts. Like they never get there. So when they get
spent
there,
so long not that it's rapid.
Yeah, it's like
Ant is perfect for
the
that.
Lions this last week. You know what this last year.
I see Ant playing good tonight. I don't see him playing consistently every night like he did game 1.
Because he was his efficiency.
He's been
missing
hot
a
towards
three.
the end of the year,
So
though.
I think the Suns could take it tonight. I think they could. I think
I think the
KD is
Suns-
on. I think if Booker can play better than he did game 1.
Jaden McDaniels is so good.
Mm-hmm.
He's so good.
He can hit a 3 or 2 in his time too.
They stole a game from Denver last year without Jaden McDaniels. He, out of frustration, punched a wall and broke his hand.
I remember
in a
that
loss.
actually.
And they still stole a game from the Nuggets last year without him. That's insane.
I can't believe the Lakers almost won that game. But then the whole
that was a foul. That was a foul on Paul. That D'Lo got fouled. You can't change my
D'Lo
mind.
did get fouled.
You can't change my mind. Michael Porter Jr. fouled D'Angelo Russell. It should have been
The
overturned.
Nuggets just have LeBron's number.
Yeah, it was called a foul. Then they challenged.
They overturned it on a
I
challenge.
was blown away.
I
by
think that one people were like, "Yo, this is bad. Like we can all see it's a foul. Why is that getting overturned?"
He hit him in the face. But
Like I said, like though, if it's a scripted foul, like you would think they'd script it for LeBron to win.
so all of our teams are in the playoffs.
Correct.
Your team is up.
Thunder.
Our teams are down. 1 to 10. After watching them struggle against that Falcons team, how worried are you? 1 to 10. If a 1 being, not even a little bit, no doubt in my mind, we're winning.
I'm a 4.
You're a 4.
My biggest thing right now is Chet. He's young, obviously. He's a hooper. He's a hooper for sure. Certified hooper, but he just does not have enough weight on him that if you can find someone to bully him, they will. Like, I mean,
If they run into Yoke, what's going to happen?
yeah, I mean, already with Valanciunas, like he's getting kind of bodied around.
Didn't Valanciunas have like 18
Yeah, he went off, and like Chet's a great shooter too, which is awesome for that team, and they have a fantastic offensive game whenever they're cooking, but the defense is there except in the paint, and so if they can pound the paint, and we're kind of lucky that Zion's not here because Zion just says.
Him and J-Dub is not a favorable matchup.
No, it is not. Zion would destroy him. He'd put up like.
I love J-Dub, but Zion's a beast.
Yeah, and I think Jalen Williams is a great defender against like a stretch 4, you know, and he can put up 18 to 25 in a night if he wants to. Shea's going to be consistent. Giddey is going to consistently pass the ball and make great assists. But one of my biggest fears is their depth. Just there's not size. There's just no size, you know. And
you got Lou Dort jumping for boards.
Yeah, like
Lou Dort.
Lou Dort, I think, is up there with Jaden McDaniels when it comes to defending.
Lou's tough.
Lou is tough. I've seen him lock down LeBron, and it was impressive as heck.
All right, Sean, as a Suns fan, you guys are down 1-0 we're about an hour ahead of tip-off for Game 2. How worried are you 1 to 10 right now about this series? 1 being no doubt in my mind we're cooking them, and 10 being we're done.
Oh, so higher is
higher would be I'm 10 out of 10 worried we're cooked. And 1 out of 10 being I don't
I'm
care.
50-50.
Just 5 out of 10? Like
yeah, literally 50-50.
Were you 5 out of 10 coming in, or did you you went from like a 2 to a 5?
I think I was if we didn't lose as bad as we did in game 1, it'd probably be like a 2 or 3. but because it was kind of like
decisive.
it definitely upped it to like, okay, this is kind of like, because before people were pretty confident Suns, even though Wolves are really good and are a higher seed.
I think the Suns generally were considered the favorites.
The
It was
Suns,
close.
Yeah.
is because the Suns would beat them.
And they've been here, too. They've been here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Durant's been here 100 times.
But
Booker's been here.
it was kind of a hard game to watch when you would see Booker going for like a layup and miss an easy layup. And you're just there like...
That defense is so stifling. I don't think people respected the defense enough.
And like, I want Booker to... Like, Booker is kind of a franchise player, but he's kind of losing it in the aspect of playoffs.
Yeah, he's got to pull it together here.
Yeah, he's
almost Josh Allen-esque in the NFL
Sometimes
with the Bills,
it
where you're
feels
like,
like-
you got to finish it, man.
Sometimes
Yeah.
it feels
Like-
like he stat pads in the regular season, and then when it's the playoffs, he just can't be consistent.
I just think if he's able to understand the assist game a little bit more, he could be one of the best.
And he
players
has
in the
his
NBA.
nights where he'll have 8 or 9 assists.
Yeah, he does.
He has his nights.
get assists. I think. Yeah, I don't know. I think sometimes he needs to learn to pass out.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he draws in almost 2 players every time.
Yeah. So
I think I think Booker's awesome. One of the best shooters in the league. Easy. He's like, I think Booker's like what Klay Thompson would have been without Steph in his younger era. Just a great shooter all around. Can pass, decent defender.
Klay Thompson's story is sad though.
Klay Thompson's story is sad. Real quick before we go over yours. Actually, go over yours and then I'll talk about it.
So as a Sixers fan, I'm probably the biggest homer on the couch as a Sixers fan. People ask me all the time how I ended up a Sixers fan because my teams are so sporadic. When I got into sports, I chose based off of my favorite players. I am a Sixers fan because of Allen Iverson. I'm a Chicago Blackhawks fan because of Jonathan Taves. I'm a Oregon fan because of Marcus Mariota, and even before that, D'Anthony Thomas,
Anthony Thomas. Oh,
and I'm a Vikings fan because I grew up there. Baseball, I grew up playing baseball as a catcher, so Buster Posey was my guy. I'm a Giants fan. It's sporadic,
yeah.
but as a Sixers homer, it's going to sound so crazy. We're down 2-0. I'm like 4 out of 10 nervous because the timeouts should have been called, and it would have been a big deal. I'm not going to say it's the only reason we lost. It was a big deal. We look good against the Knicks on our worst nights. We play bad basketball and compete with them. If we just put the pieces together. If Joel Embiid is playing good basketball, Tyrese Maxey is playing good basketball, if Toby and Kelly Oubre and B-Ball Paul Reed, if these rotational pieces can step up even a little bit, I know we've got these guys. We can take the Knicks.
Without Julius Randle too.
That's what I'm saying. We just need. It's not even like we got to see all this. Like just a little more from the guys that aren't JoJo and Maxey.
Yeah.
I just need a little bit more from. I mean, and Kyle Lowry's played pretty well actually, surprisingly.
Yes. Kyle Lowry's a good playoff player.
I need Kelly Oubre to put up 12 instead of 10. I need Tobias Harris to put up 15 instead of 10. Like, I need Paul Reed to hold it down. If you watch these Sixers games, both games, they leave the first quarter and Joel Embiid has double-digit points and the Sixers are in the lead. But the second he hits the bench, everything falls apart. He's coming off an injury. We can't ride Joel Embiid into the ground in this series.
Yeah.
Maybe next round because he'll have a series to get back on his feet from his injury. Paul Reed and Mo Bamba have to do more. You have to hold it down when Joel Embiid's not on the floor.
Yeah,
you don't even have to extend the lead. Just don't give it up. Stop giving the lead up.
Letting guys like Hartenstein get like 13
Isaiah Hartenstein,
rebounds.
even like OG Anunoby, he's so good defensively. We cannot let these open threes happen. You got Tobias Harris all on the wing, and I'm like, him and Kelly Oubre, they're not great defenders. OG Anunoby is a defensive-minded guy. We cannot let him bake us when it matters. Yeah. You've got to put a hand up. Like the Knicks, to their credit, are shooting the ball so well. So well, and when it matters, especially.
Yeah.
Josh Hart's been great, but I'm like, Joel Embiid. I don't want to give Joel Embiid a pass, if nothing else, because he at one point had Ben Simmons and Jimmy Butler, and they didn't win. I can't give him a pass for that.
Yeah, that's
right now. I'm like, I feel like we need a third guy, a Chris Middleton. We need a guy after Maxey and Embiid to just like when those guys aren't on the court putting up 35. Someone just come put 20 in.
Yeah.
And that's Harden. I wanted Harden to be that guy. Harden didn't fit with what we wanted to do. He wanted the ball so much, and he got the ball so much, and it just didn't work.
It baffles me that no team respected Butler until he got to Heat, and Heat finally.
I mean, when he was in Chicago, he was tough. In Minnesota, he was a problem for the Wolves.
Yeah.
And in Philly, it breaks my heart every time. That clip of him, when he's playing with the Heat against the Sixers, and he's like, "You paid Tobias Harris over me?"
Yeah.
And as a Sixers fan, it makes me rip my hair out because I'm with him.
Yeah.
We paid Toby to put up 14 points when Jimmy Butler almost solo ran to the playoffs last year through the finals.
And one of the best defenders in the league.
Imagine Jimmy Butler on this Sixers team. We would be blowing the doors off teams like the Knicks and the Pacers and the Magic.
Butler's also, he's not as good as LeBron at it, but he's also a good field general.
He rallies the troops. Yeah,
he
he's
does.
the
He's
voice.
like, hey, sit down here, watch that screen. Yeah,
he and JoJo would be LeBron and AD.
Number one at that
for sure.
He and JoJo would be LeBron and AD in the East, basically.
Yeah,
that's. I'm always I will never not be mad about the fact that we paid Tobias Harris instead of Jimmy Butler.
The most fun.
But this series isn't over. I promise, Sixers fans, this isn't over. Yeah, don't give up. It's not over.
Chris Brunson, right?
Oh, Jalen Brunson.
Jalen Brunson. He's such a
he's a bucket.
He's a sleeper build.
Yeah, he is a sleeper build.
Like people have no idea he's there until he's there, and then they're like,
he did this with the Mavs too when he got touches.
When him and Luka were kind of sharing.
Yeah,
he was
see, I was looking at the stats a couple nights ago. He was points per game. He was number 5 or something
Yeah, he'll give you 30. He will give you 30.
Yeah. He has to because he's the number one.
Especially with Julius Randle, who's usually 20.
But DiVincenzo's still been going on.
But he was the only player last year in the playoffs. He played full time.
Yeah, 42 minutes.
They wanted to win that game.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the camera thing real quick, just make sure we're all good.
We're gonna touch up next on Mavs Clippers because I don't know about you. Okay, the most interesting series in the playoffs. I want to hear what you guys think about it
right now.
Clippers, Mavs. Got to be the most interesting, right? Because the Mavs are the craziest underdog, other than maybe the Suns in the playoffs. Because they're the Mavs. It's Luka Doncic. And it's Kyrie, and they're hot. Yeah. They're scorching right now, shooting the ball. They lost game 1. Game 2 is tonight. Who do you I can't even ask you guys how 1 to 10 worried the Mavs should be, because how 1 to 10 worried should the Clippers be without Kawhi? Who do you guys see winning this one?
Without Kawhi, honestly, I don't see the Kawhi injury as the biggest deal. I see a Paul George injury as a big deal. I think Paul George is a great floor manager on defense. Russell Westbrook is just going to constantly hustle no matter who you are. Dude, I was watching the Clippers Mavs games and he's diving for balls at 34 years old. That dude just hustles.
And Harden came to play.
Harden did come to play too. And I think Paul George is my biggest scare. If he gets hurt, I think that they're cooked. But with Paul George, James Harden is going to produce enough offense. Russell Westbrook is going to do what he needs to do as a 6th man. Paul George is the key to everything.
So you got the Clippers winning this series?
No, I still have the Mavs.
You got the Mavs? How many games?
I think it goes to 7. Kawhi is out. Yeah.
But is he out for the whole series?
No, I think he's out till game 6, I believe. Something late though. But I see Luka has
long enough for Kawhi.
If they can even keep it even when Kawhi comes back, then I think
it's over. But dude, Luka and Kyrie have chips.
Kawhi's present at the shoot around today.
Oh, really?
Today he's at the shoot around.
I think if Kawhi plays,
that man needs to stay healthy.
Clippers win.
He's questionable tonight. He got an injection in his knee and has been shooting around tonight. He's questionable.
Yeah,
I think they sit him because you're up a game. You don't risk it now.
Yeah.
But if they win, I think you keep him out of the lineup until you lose. If they lose this game, play him in game 3, sure.
Yeah. But if they win this game, you're up 2-0
Don't rush
already.
him back if you're up 2-0.
And in Dallas too. Dallas is pretty electric. You can take a loss in Dallas,
Well, they're in LA today, right?
I know, yeah.
So even if you win today, you lose game 3 in Dallas, you have to think about sitting Kawhi out until maybe game 5.
Yeah, because if you let it get to 2-2, that's fine, and then you bring Kawhi.
But also, part of them is probably if we put the Mavs away as fast as possible and let the rest of the first round play out, he gets time to rest.
Maybe. But if you're playing the Thunder and the Thunder win in 4, I mean, it's the 1v8 seed, and the Thunder know what they've done wrong now, and I think that the Thunder coach, I don't remember his name right now, but I think he's a great coach. I mean, he's turned...
They don't have Billy Donovan.
No, Billy Donovan.
That's what I'm thinking before.
Yeah, Billy Donovan was before. I liked him as a coach. He was decent. I don't remember who they have right yet.
Mark Dagnall.
Mark Dagnall, yeah. I think
they have Sam Presti, of course, to build the team.
Yeah, but I mean, they've turned the team that was last year to the team that is this year. I mean, one of the worst teams in the league to one of the best teams in the league. And they didn't really draft anybody this last year. It was 2 years ago when they got Chet and J-Dub. So I think that the Thunder take it in 4, personally.
And then you got, the Mavs in, 6?
Yeah, I got the Mavs in 6. Yeah.
You're a Luka guy. What do you think? The Mavs pulling this off? Especially if Kawhi comes back, potentially tonight.
I mean, I don't know. I think on paper the Clippers win, but I think
You
on
can't
the
count
court,
on Luka.
you just don't know what Luka's going to
It's
do.
Luka Doncic.
So it's just
Luka.
kind of
Luka Magic.
interesting because Luka still played great that game 1. Kyrie didn't show up for a while. Kyrie didn't show up till quarter 3.
Yeah, but that's pretty normal.
I mean,
with the
his
offense.
teammates in general didn't show up. Luka was
True.
finding open guys to start the game, and they were not making shots.
They were 4 for 15.
Choked on an ice cube.
He had the same amount of points as his whole team for the first quarter.
So you think the Mavs got this? Or you rocking with the Clippers? I'm going to say Clippers in 7.
Clippers in 7.
I think Kawhi comes back and saves the day. That's really what I think is going to happen. I think they sit him out for a couple more games, and it goes to 7, and Kawhi comes and saves the day.
Yeah, I really want to say Mavs just because I love Luka, but on paper I'm saying Clippers.
I think
Your mind says the Clippers, your heart says the Mavs.
Yeah.
Respect.
So let's we have the bracket here. I kind of want to let's
I'm gonna take a screenshot.
do like well, at the very least, I mean, I guess if
I
we're
still have the picture.
yeah, we've got the picture of it. So we got
Okay.
Thunder and 5, right? We got Thunder and 5. We'll give one to the
Yeah, we'll
Pels.
give one to the Pelicans because maybe, I don't know, Shea sits out a game or Chet sits out a game because of some ankle or wrist thing.
So we're doing this democratically. Clippers, Mavs. I say Mavs in 7 or Clips in 7 personally.
Oops, no. Okay, you say Clips in what? 7?
I think Clippers in 7.
I'd take Mavs in 6, but what do you say, Sean?
I think Sean.
This is democracy.
If you were trying to shoot for accuracy here, what do you think?
You said Clips in 7.
I said Clips in 7. You
I
said
said
Mavs
Mavs
in
in
6.
And it's 0-1 right now for Mavs.
Yep, cool. The Clippers are up 1-0.
And they're going to go 2-0.
We're going for accuracy here. I want the Mavericks to win too, but I think the Clippers.
Yeah, we're not Brock Purdy glazing right now, so.
He's like, joke's on you. Luka is my basketball.
You're the Justin Herbert glazer.
Thank you.
I'm
the Lamar Jackson. Thank you. What you got? Clippers, Mavs.
Well, Clippers are probably going to win tonight, so 2-0. Then I think Mavs are going to take both their home games.
So you
So you think it's at least going to 6?
Yeah.
But who do you think's winning?
I think if Kawhi
The Clippers have the
comes
home
back-
advantage. If it goes to 7, they get one more
I
home
think
game.
it's
than the
Clippers
Mavs.
in 7 like you because I think if Kawhi comes back,
He's going to come back and save the day in
Yeah.
LA. So we're going Clippers in 7.
Okay.
Suns, Wolves. I've got the Wolves in 6, but tonight could shift my view so bad. Because if the Suns play good, like Suns basketball tonight, I'd go as far as to almost say Suns in 5, like they reverse sweep them. But I think if the Wolves win tonight, the Suns will fight back in Phoenix.
As a
I've got the
Suns fan,
Wolves in
I'm
6.
saying Wolves are going to win.
I think Wolves in
Because
6.
Suns always butcher it, especially if it's close like this.
Yeah, I got the Wolves in 5,
Suns-
but I still got the
If the
Wolves.
Suns aren't sweeping, they're not winning. It's just
So Nuggets, Lakers. I'm going to
Nuggets,
think Nuggets
Nuggets.
in 5.
Nuggets.
No.
I think the Lakers steal one.
I think the Nuggets sweep again. I think the Nuggets are literally. I think Jokic is literally.
So we'll just go bracket side, like for
Let's
the
just
West
go here.
first.
Yeah.
So,
okay. So then
we got Thunder, and they'd play the lowest seed remaining, which would be the
No, they
Clippers.
don't.
No, they're the one. They play the lowest seed remaining, right?
Nope. Oh, I guess remaining technically,
the
yeah.
Remaining.
But even if it was this way, 6 and
it's
7 would
bracket
still
style.
play.
It's not like one versus. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not NFL style. Okay.
No, it's
But
not.
we've got Thunder versus Clippers.
I think
if the Thunder take care of the Pelicans fast and the Clippers have to drag out the Mavs series, I'll take the Thunder in 5 again.
Yeah, I think that
the Clippers come in tired with Kawhi coming off a war with Luka, and the Thunder put away the Pelicans.
And they're young. They have so much energy, and Shea is hot. And
I guess maybe I say Thunder in 6 because the Clippers really are like that. Like they've got Harden, Westbrook, PG, Kawhi, especially if everyone's healthy.
This is a Westbrook revenge tour too in OKC.
If Harden comes in hitting threes,
well, him and Shea, because Shea was a Clipper, yeah.
Harden hits threes like he does, like he did last
But
time.
I don't think he will. Lou Dort's really like that.
Or
Lou Dort
George
is
just
like
takes
that.
over and hits the threes then.
I think I'm going to go Thunder in 6,
Paul
but
George is
it's...
a 3-point shooter too.
Yeah.
Kawhi can hit threes too.
Yeah, but there's so many ifs on their team in terms of being healthy and who has bad games. Paul George had a stinker in game 1. James Harden's liable to disappear.
20 points.
Yeah, but he's with
But he
no
was missing a
Kawhi.
lot.
Anything less than 25 from Paul George is like, hey, you got backpack.
Yeah, but he was also like
When there's no Kawhi, he's supposed to be the guy.
Yeah, but he was also like 8 and 19.
But that's the thing is Harden kind of
12.
saved him in game 1.
That's
So
like
like,
40%. That's good.
8
It
to
sounds
19.
bad, but like when you
That's
look at
like less-
percentages,
I
let me
guess-
look at the box score because
yeah,
maybe I'm tweeting, but I swear Paul
36%.
George did not play great.
Luka was like 40% in his game. He scored a lot, but he shot a lot. 3-pointers,
true.
he only made like
Let me look.
4 out of like 12.
Yeah.
That's true. Luka's just a high.
PG had 22 on 8 for 20 shooting.
Yeah, 8 for 20. I guess
That efficiency
that's
does
like
not. That's
45%.
scary.
Yeah, 40% is good for 3-point. But if he's hitting layups and like stuff like that, and he's missing layups or he's missing mid range, that's a whole different.
Because
story.
Luka was 11 for 26, so
Mid-range
he
is
shot more, but he made more. So I'm like,
yeah, but he also shoots.
and Luka
like,
also had 13 rebounds and 6 assists, and PG had 6 rebounds and 3 assists. So I'm like,
yeah, but that's because Luka does everything.
but personally, Paul George does everything. Even if he doesn't play make like Luka, he does everything. He can rebound. He just doesn't need to.
does. In all the
Zubac
podcast,
is
people
there.
say that Paul George is like one of the
He's
best
got
players in the
Harden
league.
and
He's just
When
hard.
Kawhi's healthy, he's got Kawhi. He doesn't have to do it.
I think there's too many ifs for the Clippers for me, so I'd take the Thunder in 6.
Yeah.
Because there's not really a lot of ifs for the Thunder. We know who the Thunder, their identity, even if they don't live up to it, we
but
know who
in
they
my
are.
opinion, if Kawhi's playing and he's healthy, he's bullying like any of the big boys out.
You've got to think about rest here, though. If the Thunder can put away the Pelicans early, you just wait till the second round starts. If Kawhi goes to 7 with the Mavs like we predicted, that's a war with
Yeah,
Luka.
but Kawhi's
He's going to be exhausted.
Yeah, Kawhi won't be exhausted because he's
Coming off an injury, going 7 games with Luka Doncic, he and Paul
He's
George
not
are going to be
playing
tired.
He would be
games,
going
though.
3 games, but he'd be
But
going
even
3
then, you're
games
coming off an
hard.
injury. You're coming off of an
And
injury.
he's 35.
Yeah,
like,
but he's resting.
I think this is a
Kawhi
close
Leonard.
6, but I think I'd take the Thunder in 6.
Kawhi Leonard's like one of the best basketball players on the court. When he's
Shea,
healthy.
it might be a hot take. If these two teams meet, Shea is the best basketball player on the court. He's the best basketball player on the court.
I agree.
He scores more
I agree.
than
It's
anyone on the Clippers,
close.
and it's not close. And he's a better defender than most of the Clippers.
He's not. Harden's a much better 3-point shooter than Shea.
Yeah, but
That's the
Harden's a
only
better
thing
3-point
that you
shooter.
should
Paul George is a better defender. Kawhi's a better
They
inside.
all
Shea has
individually are better
all
than Shea
that.
at things. They're
Yeah.
not
But-
better collect
but
like
Shea
they
might
collect.
have all that, but he's not better than all that.
But like
No, but they're not playing just
But even
Shea.
it's
They're
not
playing
just
with
Shea. They got
Josh Giddey. They got
J-Dub.
J-Dub.
J-Dub scored
George
18
He's
goals.
also a
Holmgren.
better 3-point shooter than Shea.
I
It
disagree
doesn't.
with that.
Shooting's not everything.
Look at stats here.
Shooting's not everything. You live and die by the 3. They call it live and die by the 3
and
for a
the
reason.
Thunder are better at shooting the 3 than the Clippers, and I think that's
Top
what's
to
gonna
bottom,
win
they're
them.
better shooters than
Yes.
the Clippers.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's one game. Top to bottom, I believe the Thunder are better shooters.
Yes.
Giddey can shoot. Shea can shoot a little bit. Chet's the best shooting big man in that entire series.
Also,
but it's not close. J-Dub can shoot.
Yeah, well, he's gonna
The other Jalen Williams can shoot. Lou Dort can shoot.
because if Kawhi's playing on defense.
No,
Chet's
Kawhi
not
won't guard. Kawhi won't guard Chet Holmgren. Chet Holmgren's 7'2". He won't guard him.
Yeah.
He won't guard him.
And the thing is,
Kawhi and PG are gonna have to slow down SGA, which means they're gonna have to put what Zubac on Chet Holmgren. I don't think
And if
Zubac
that's
is.
happened, SGA will probably get slowed down a little bit.
the Thunder just
That's
have
what they said about Anthony Edwards too, and he just dogged on the Suns in Game 1.
the Thunder's passing
don't have
is so
the best
next
defense.
level too. Like
KD's decent at defense, but
Josh
But
Giddey,
that's the thing is, a superstar can make good defenders look like not good defenders.
look
Like,
at Jamal Murray on Anthony Davis.
yeah,
last
bro,
night.
AD's the best defender in the NBA, and Jamal Murray
still
hit a game
that
winner on him
in
still.
his
Like,
face.
I think Shea would still average 25. I'll take him in 6. I'd even accept Thunder in 7 because I think the Clippers are a very good team.
And they fight
I
hard.
just don't think they have the depth and the health.
Yeah.
My biggest thing with the Clippers is they like take turns being hurt.
Yeah.
They like take turns rotating off the floor. The Thunder are healthy. Like, it's not just Shea. I think Shea is so good that people tend to think the Thunder are just Shea. J-Dub and Chet both average like 15 to 20 points a game.
And Chet's rebounds are awesome. Plus, he's got good blocks. He may not have.
Chet's one of the best shot blockers in the NBA in sides. Like,
I think the Suns can beat the Wolves if Grayson Allen shoots 3.
plays like he was in the regular season. Yeah.
Okay,
Because
so
then he would attract attention.
Yeah.
But
so
what's the verdict on Clippers Mavs?
Thunder over Clippers.
I think
Thunder.
I think
take
Thunder in 7 is fine. I'll take Thunder in 7.
Okay.
Sean swayed me a little. Like, I don't want to downplay the Clippers. They're so
the Clippers
good.
are really good.
I think the Thunder just like the only if you put a team in front of you and try to poke a hole in them, right? Like you have a pencil with a piece of paper. I can poke more holes in the Clippers than the Thunder. The
Yeah.
Thunder's hole is they're young. They haven't been here before. The Clippers are injury prone. Their players are liable to have bad nights. Paul George will have an off night. Russell Westbrook will have a bad night. Harden will have a bad night. Kawhi will have a bad night. The Thunder don't really do that. Shea does not have bad games. J-Dub doesn't have bad games. Chet is always solid. Like, I can poke too many holes in the Clippers and not
We
enough in the
sit
Thunder.
here and say Paul George got 20 points and call that a bad night for him.
But that's the thing. The Thunder, Shea dropped 27, and we said that was a bad night for the
think
Thunder.
about it. Think about it this
like,
way.
Like Chet, we're
If
like that's
Luka is out and Kyrie plays and Kyrie puts up 19 or 20 points, that's a bad night for Kyrie. Kyrie needs to be putting up 28.
Here's my
5
counter for
assists
you.
and like 3 rebounds.
Here's
and
my
maybe
counter
2
for you.
steals.
We think that the Mavs take the Clippers to 7 games. The Thunder are better than the Mavs offensively, are they not? Obviously, Luka's the best scorer, but
And
as a whole,
defensively and
the Thunder are better than the Mavericks.
as a team, yeah.
So if the Mavs would take the Clippers to 7, how would the Thunder not at least take them to 7?
Yeah, I agree.
If they're better and the Mavs took them to the brink, the Thunder would theoretically at least take them to the brink. Like if they lose, at least it's going to be in 7 because they're better than the
They did
Mavs.
almost lose to the Pelicans last night, though, so that's why.
But again, that was a bad night from Shea. I was watching the game. Shea was turning the ball over. He was missing shots. He still put up 27.
hurt Zion too. So,
Yeah, but that's so subjective. Every team is dealing with injuries right now. I think every
except
team in the
Thunder.
NBA.
They were healthy. They went in and they almost lost to a hurt Pelicans.
But they won.
They did win. And
Winning is still winning if it's messy. Are we knocking the Nuggets for
I
barely
get
beating
that.
the Lakers?
Yeah,
But they
no,
can't
Nuggets
struggle
still.
against the Pelicans if they.
But are we knocking the Nuggets for struggling against the Lakers?
the Lakers are the 7th seed.
Like,
no.
And the Nuggets were down 20.
You could, yeah. You can't. We can.
I don't think you can knock a team for barely winning. In the playoffs, every team's got something.
Yeah.
And even though Zion's out, I think Zion's a big deal. BI scores 25 a game. CJ McCollum will give you 25 on his best night. Valanciunas had like 18
Some might
rebounds.
argue Nuggets should have lost that game last night.
But that's what I'm saying is like the Nuggets almost blew a game to the Lakers, and we're not giving them the same treatment as the Thunder for
we
almost.
haven't talked about them yet. What do you mean we haven't?
That's But I mean, even in the Lakers
You didn't
series,
give me a
like,
chance to say if I wanted to say that. All I'm
well,
saying
no, that's not true because we talked about
We
Nuggets
did talk
Lakers,
about
and you
Nuggets
guys thought
Lakers.
they were going to sweep them, and
Yeah.
they almost blew one.
He said they were going to sweep them.
What do you think they take them to? Because I said Nuggets in 5.
That's a Nuggets sweep.
I said I think Nuggets win.
What? How many games? Because they almost lost game 2. They really did. And according, obviously, I'm not a Lakers fan, and according to the Lakers, of course, according to the Lakers,
Yeah.
they should have won that game. For all intents and purposes, that foul recall on D'Lo was a huge thing.
Yeah, no, I think Lakers.
The open
And
three
Jamal Murray's shot was magic too.
It
Like
was.
if that's out, they lose.
LeBron's brick 3 was the biggest turning point. If he
But we don't
waits-
want to get too far ahead of ourselves here.
Yeah. Okay.
Thunder Clippers.
I take Thunder.
You've at least swayed me to get to it's going to 7, but I just maintain the fact that if the Mavericks take the Clippers to 7 and they are not as good or deep as the Thunder, how would the Thunder not at least take them to 7?
So I accept Luka.
But Luka and Shea are both MVP candidates. So if they both have an MVP candidate, but one of them is just a deeper, more talented team, how will the Thunder do worse?
Luka does so much more than Shea.
Like-
Even on defense.
Then Shea.
I think that's really statistically, yes. I think subjectively, I don't know.
More rebounds.
Because
more assists.
I just said
More
statistically.
points.
Objectively, Shea is playing with the youngest team in NBA history to make a 1 seed, and he's got them at the 1 seed. If you took him off the Thunder, they would not be of the 1 seed. I guarantee. I promise. They might not even make the playoffs.
Oh, you've seen those post-game interviews. His boys are about him. That's a squad.
If they don't have Shea, that team's a play-in team at
squad.
best.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
And Kyrie would have the Mavs as a play-in team without Luka still.
I agree, but like.
So I think they have similar
still Shea,
impact.
but it's Luka's still up here a little bit on him.
But that's the thing is, Luka over Shea, yeah, but Thunder over Mavs.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if we're talking 2 of the top players in the league, but one of them has help, how is he going to do worse against the Clippers than Luka does with less help? Like, how is he going to do worse when Luka is doing it with less help?
Because like I'm not like against Pelicans. I don't think Luka's having a bad game. I don't think the Mavs would sweep the Pelicans. I don't think the Mavericks would sweep. That's why we're talking we've already had this conversation where our opinions might change based on different games. I'm just talking about the games that have happened, and that's where my opinions are. I don't disagree with the
I don't think the Mavs would sweep the Pelicans.
But based on what we've seen right now, that's what I'm saying. Do I think Clippers might take it? Yeah.
I think they might, but I don't. If I had to put money on someone, I'm putting it on the Thunder.
Fair. I think Clippers are gonna upset Thunder though.
So next would be Wolves Nuggets. The Wolves, I liked your comparison. How they remind me of the Lions, but the Nuggets remind me of the Niners. So I'm like, the Nuggets they've been here, they've done that. You're the hot new, cool. It doesn't matter. The Nuggets are the Niners.
There's a couple people though that are missing that are key ingredients. One of them being Will Barton. And I think Will Barton played a huge role last year in the playoffs. And without Will Barton and
they had,
a couple of the other people that left.
Was it not Jeff Green? Who's the power forward they had that went to the Pacers?
Michael Green?
What's his name that said he wasn't going to leave and then left?
Bruce Brown.
Yeah.
Bruce Brown.
He goes on the podium and was like, "We're running back."
Yeah,
run it back.
Signs with a different team. Yeah. I take the
Suns, or I take the Nuggets in 6.
I take the Wolves in 7. I think that the Wolves' defense. I think that Rudy Gobert shuts.
I love Rudy, but I don't think he can hang with Yoke. Because as a Sixers fan, I don't think he'd be able to hang with JoJo either. I think he puts up really good stats when he's not playing elite centers.
I think. Yeah.
I'll take the Nuggets in 6 or 7.
I just don't. I think the fact that the Wolves struggled against the Suns in the regular season tells me that they're not going to beat the Nuggets in the playoffs.
But these teams played in the playoffs last year when the Wolves were less developed, and the Wolves did steal a game, almost 2.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I want almost. But that's what I'm saying is this was Anthony Edwards before his blow up, and so I'm like, he's so much better now even than last year. But my thing, like,
I'm just kidding. You're pretty.
The Wolves and the Thunder, if I put them side by side, it's kind of looking ahead to next round for me still. But I don't think the Wolves or the Thunder are ready to beat the Nuggets. I think they're talented enough. I think they could. I just don't think they're ready.
Yeah.
I think this is their first big runs, and I don't think either of them's taken the Nuggets down. The Nuggets have been here, done that. I think the Nuggets come out the West.
I think the only way the Wolves beat the Nuggets is if they somehow. I don't think they're ever going to lock up Jokic. I think the one you need to lock up is
Jamal Murray.
Yeah.
And I guess the Wolves, if anybody, bro, if you put Jaden McDaniels on Jamal Murray, it's tough because like we watched on one hand, this is 2 Titans because we watched him strap up Book, but we just watched Jamal Murray hit a game winner over AD. So it's like the ultimate defense against the ultimate playoff performer.
Yeah. I think you just, obviously you try to stop Jokic, but at the end of the day, just let him score.
Lesser of 2 evils.
Lock up Jamal.
Michael Porter Jr.
Yeah, Michael Porter Jr.
If you slow the supporting cast down, we've seen that superstars will lose games if their supporting cast can't score.
Michael Porter, the play-ins here.
To be fair, Nuggets are good. The Nuggets coach is really good, and he'll probably see that and be able to adjust for it. But
I'll take the Nuggets here over the Wolves, though.
That's where like benching and using your bench is like
huge.
Fighting against like when someone's putting a defensive
What's he'll put up like
player
225?
Oh my!
So you've got the Wolves in this one. I've got the Nuggets in this one.
The Nuggets. Okay. So
next round, I'm still going to take Nuggets over the Thunder. I think it's the same story as the Wolves all over again.
Yeah.
Shea's so good and Ant's so good. I don't think they beat the Nuggets.
Then to me, I'm thinking the Nuggets as well because I think the Clippers are going to beat the Thunder. So.
Yeah, if the Clippers might beat the Thunder, and I think the Nuggets are way better than the Clippers.
I don't think Clippers beat Nuggets either.
Yeah. I think the only teams that have legitimate shots, in my opinion, at the Nuggets where like they could throw down are the Thunder the Wolves, and the Clippers. Those are the only three teams that I think could throw down.
I think Suns could.
I don't think so.
playing at their
Nurkic
best.
just is not him against Jokic, and the defense.
Nurk
just
will
is
get
not there.
violated by
Nurk, yeah, but
Yeah.
that's the thing. Just let Nurk get violated.
But we also
Booker
just
and
we just
KD
watched
can play their offensive styles, and Grayson Allen can hit his threes like he was in the regular season.
we
They
just
can beat
watched Ant solo run them in game 1. What are they going to do when it's Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr.?
them. Yeah.
So I'd take the
That's why I'm
Suns.
saying, like,
I think the Wolves match up better with the Nuggets
I
than the
think
Suns do.
in an ideal world, the Suns could beat them, but
So I'll take the Nuggets to the finals. I think if it's the Thunder meeting them there, they go there.
the tougher side.
I'd say 5 or 6. I just think. I mean,
Can we just say it's going to be the Celtics versus Nuggets at this point? Then?
I don't
No,
know because I don't think
so.
the Celtics are going to make it.
yeah.
Really? You think Bucks are going to beat them out?
No, I think the Cavs are. We're about to get to the East. I think the Celtics sweep the Heat. I'll take the Celtics.
Oh,
Yeah, without Jimmy
100%.
buckets,
I'll take the Cavs over the Magic in 4 as well. I think the Cavs have them on the ropes.
I don't think Cavs.
I think they've rocked them like it's a boxing fight. They got them on the ropes, covered up, and they're slanging them
You
hands
see
at
that
them.
Celtics win record in the East?
I'm telling you, you're sleeping on the Cavs. It's just because they don't have star power, big name
Yeah, but
guys.
Jared Allen and
DG
Evan
the
Mobley.
PG. He's
I'm
so
sorry.
tough.
I think Celtics are going to the
Evan Mobley is one of the 5 best defenders in the entire NBA. The best 5 defenders in the NBA are AD, Jaren Jackson, Jaden Daniels,
Victor Wembanyama.
Evan Mobley, and Victor Wembanyama.
Bro, watching Celtics play the Heat, I know Jimmy Butler was in there. It was almost like adults playing.
But the Cavs are so much better than the Heat when you don't factor in Jimmy Butler. It's not even close.
And Jared Allen.
The Cavs are the 4 seed for a reason. And this is with Darius Garland missing time, Evan Mobley missing time, Spida had his off time. It's.
Jared Allen too
Yeah,
puts
but
up
do you know what
like
they're
14
I'll take the
rebounds
Cavs
a
in
game.
6
You
over
know,
the
they're
Celtics.
4 seed by like. Do you know how many games ahead the Celtics are in wins from first to second?
How many times have we seen the Celtics do
It's
this?
like 20.
How many times have we seen the
Celtics
Celtics do
also
this? And how
lost
many
to the
times have we said they're
Pistons.
going to win the finals?
Celtics
How many
also
times?
lost to the Pistons.
How many times
but
have
they
we
still
done
get
this?
deep into the playoffs.
But they don't matter when it matters the most. That they don't show up.
They had a better team than that
They
Warriors team.
feel like
1000%,
strong this
they
year.
And it
still
didn't
lost to the
matter.
They
Warriors,
seem
yeah.
stronger this year than they do than any other.
Porzingis is a huge addition. Porzingis adds an extra, basically, foot of defense in that paint. But he doesn't
let me
play defense
just tell
like
y'all, they're
that.
not scoring inside on the Cavs. Evan Mobley and Jared Allen is the best defensive duo in the NBA in the paint. They
Yeah.
will not bully
the
them in the
Celtics
paint.
have really good defense too.
Yeah, but that's
They do,
why
but
Donovan
they
Mitchell will
just
give you
got-
30 and DG will give you 20.
Yeah, Jaylen Brown is not going to give you constant 26. He's like
And
one
Jaylen
game
Brown,
in
if you
30,
make him a
34, and
shooter
one game
because he
12.
can't score on Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, he's not putting up the same numbers when he can't cut like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. This will be fun to remember when we go.
That's what I want to do is look back at
Yeah.
first. So, but before we get to the second round, so Cavs Magic, I'm taking the Cavs in 4.
I'll
I
take
think they
Cavs
got
in
close.
5. I think the Magic steal 1, but the
I-
Cavs are just clearly the better team.
I agree with you. Cavs beat Magic.
Yeah.
All right, and then we got Bucks Pacers.
Bucks.
But
Giannis
Bucks
is
in
about to
6.
come back.
I got Bucks in. I'm gonna say 5. Yeah, 5 or 6, just because of Siakam.
They're kind of like the Wolves and the Thunder were for me, where I'm like the Hallie and the Pacers are tough, but they're not ready for the moment's too
No,
big.
they need one
The
more
moment's too
big
big.
signing in the offseason.
And the Bucks been here, bro. Like the Giannis is
Yeah.
about to come back. Dame just looked like prime Dame in game 1.
Yeah.
Hallie
Dame
was flustered in game 1.
Yeah, he was. He didn't even put up a double-double, I don't think.
You guys are gonna have to overrule me on this because I'm gonna tell you Sixers and
Knicks.
7.
Knicks in 4.
I'd take the Sixers and 7.
Knicks in 4. Knicks sweeping them, bro.
I really
They're
hope
going to-
I hope we look
they're
back
going
at
to
this and I look like a
Philadelphia.
genius because I'll take the Sixers and 7.
Joel Embiid's going down. They're going to have nobody, and Tyrese Maxey's just getting locked up.
If it makes you feel any better, I don't think either of these teams is sniffing the Bucks. I think the Bucks.
No, the Bucks clear. The
I
Bucks
think no
clear
matter
the
who
next.
goes on to the next round, I'll take Bucks in 4.
Yeah.
Oh,
Bucks and
I don't think the Bucks are sweeping the Knicks.
I think Bucks,
I think they're more likely to sweep the Knicks than the Sixers because JoJo and Embiid is a better matchup than anyone on the Knicks and Giannis.
That's what it seems like.
Or
but
not
then the
JoJo and
Knicks
Embiid,
can-
JoJo and Giannis.
then-
What is Hartenstein going to guard Giannis?
Hartenstein
No.
guarded Embiid.
He's averaging 30. How is he guarding
Yeah,
him?
but sometimes you don't like. Sometimes you let a guy score and you outscore him. Like it doesn't always happen.
I mean, he
Not
out-rebounded
when
him.
Dame is the point guard too. Not
That's
when
true.
Dame is, Chris Middleton will give you 20 if you
Yeah,
leave
but
him open.
Dame's-
The Bucks are the deepest team other than the Celtics in the entire East. They got Dame, they got Brook Lopez. They have shooters on shooters on shooters.
So does the Knicks. I mean,
They really don't. The Knicks shooters are playing good. They are not consistently playing like this. They don't consistently play like
I
this.
don't think but I don't think they're sweeping the Knicks. They're not sweeping.
Bro,
that's for sure.
especially without Julius Randle, they're going to get violated by Giannis in the second round if they play the Bucks. No Julius Randle? Like, this is a
I
wrap.
see Bucks in 5. I see Bucks in 5.
Even I
think
get
New
like
York
5 if you
steals
want
one
to
at
do
home
the
at
thing where you say they
MSG.
steal one. That's fine. But the Bucks are dominating the Sixers or the Knicks in the next round.
Yes. Okay, Celtics.
That was with my chest. The Bucks will violate the Knicks or the Sixers in the next round. Yeah, I am. I'm a Sixers fan. You think I like saying that they would hang their balls on my team? They would. They would.
Could be a,
All right.
a hot
So
take
now
for
we've got Celtics, Cavs. You already know I'm taking the
Celtics.
Celtics. I'm taking the Cavs in 6.
You're taking the Cavs in 6. I'm taking the Celtics in
I can't
6.
wait for us to look back on this after
You just argued with me.
from the Celtics, but
What I argue?
I thought you were with him on the Cavs.
No, I was just stating that it's going to be a lot
I'm just
closer.
saying.
You said that the Celtics
We're gonna
made the
get to the
Heat
end
look
of
like
this.
little boys, and that's what they would do.
When we
and
look
I just
back-
think it's going to be a lot closer.
Not to the Cavs.
when Jason Tatum's doing what we're doing, watching from the couch during the finals, you guys are going to be like, damn, we really should have remembered that Jason Tatum's not like that when it comes down to it. He's every time,
I
bro.
think he's learned to play more better as a teammate this year.
He's not. He doesn't, though. He takes such stupid shots. Stupid shots.
I think Porzingis is the
passes
key
out
factor
more
here.
now.
He passes out more because his teammates have probably came to him and be like, hey, your shot IQ is fucking awful.
Al Horford is just like Yoda.
Al Horford's their only glue. Like, this team, I'm so sure
He's
the
the
Celtics
Channing
are
Frye.
not going to win the finals. I don't think
I
they'll
don't
even
know
make
about
the
win the
finals.
finals. I think they're getting to it.
So we can put the Celtics on here. I don't think they get past
I don't
the
know.
Cavs.
Maybe it's an easy take to say Celtics going to make it just because of their win record, but
I take the Bucks over the Celtics.
I think if the Celtics, you guys voted the Celtics past the Cavs. I don't think they get past the Bucks or the Cavs. So I think I'd take the Bucks in 6.
Yeah, I take
The Bucks are the perfect foil to the Celtics. The Celtics are shooter, freak athlete, prima donnas, and the Bucks punch you in the mouth. They are so physical. That is not Kristaps Porzingis.
It's
Historically, is big and lanky and doesn't like to play physical.
Yeah.
When Giannis gets in his chest with the shoulder, Porzingis is gonna fold.
Yeah.
He's gonna fall. Like
Yeah,
it's.
and Dame
I'll
can't
take
be
the
guarded.
Bucks. I'll take the Bucks over the Celtics
Like,
because I don't
even
think they'd even beat the Cavs.
The only problem would be Drew Holiday on Damian Lillard, and Drew Holiday obviously
I don't think
has a
Drew
chip
can
on the
stop
shoulder.
Dame.
No one really can stop Dame. Paul
He can slow
George
him
couldn't
down,
stop
but-
Dame, but like, yeah, Giannis is definitely
Especially
gonna
the Dame that
outbody-
just put 35 on the Pacers in Game 1. Like,
Yeah.
that was Dame
Insane.
time. Like,
All right.
so I think the Bucks wipe the Knicks or Sixers, and then they wipe the Celtics in 6. And then I think we've got Bucks Nuggets in the finals.
I take it Bucks. I think the Nuggets have been there, done that, but so have the Bucks. And with Damian Lillard wants it. Damian Lillard
This is so.
wants it.
This one's so hard.
bad.
Bucks Nuggets
You
is so hard,
taste it.
bro.
It would be
I
a
don't think the
great
Bucks can beat
series.
Nuggets.
The Bucks defense has been so bad, and Doc hasn't fixed it. I'm a
Doc-
Sixers fan.
Doc
We had
is-
Doc. Doc chokes in these moments as a coach every time, does he not?
Doc is overrated.
He folded when he was the Clippers coach when they had Lob City. He
Yeah.
folded with the Sixers when we had Jimmy Butler, like Ben Simmons and everyone, and he's going to fold now with the Bucks. I think the Nuggets go back to back.
I just see Giannis and Dame coming together and being like, "Look, we're gonna LeBron this and just say, step aside, coach."
What do you think, Sean? Because this is really hard for me. I think this goes to 6 or 7 no matter what.
Yeah.
I think it's Nuggets at 7. So
I'd take the Nuggets, I think, in 6.
Okay.
Because I just think
take Bucks in
I think the
7.
Bucks just fold. I think they fold. They're like the Celtics, but not as bad. The Celtics players fold. The Bucks coaching will fold.
Yeah.
They
that
will
could
be
true.
not as prepared as Malone has the Nuggets for this series. So
Yeah.
I'll take the Nuggets because of coaching and because they have similar talent levels, but the Nuggets have been here. So we got the Nuggets winning it all over the Bucks.
Guess so.
I feel good about that. I think Bucks Cavs is a more fun series than Bucks Celtics. Because the Cavs, if anyone's going to slow down Giannis, it would be the Cavs.
I want to see Dame there too, really bad.
Spida and Dame dueling would be so fun.
Oh, that would be a great, because Spida is a good defender for how small he is. Like, he's like AI defending. You know, he can shut people down somehow, but he doesn't.
it's interesting though. Our personal brackets would all be different though.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
That's our pod bracket right there.
Yeah.
All right, the last thing I want to do before we get ready for the D&D is like, okay, so I want to create another bracket just really quick, but what we want is the craziest things that can possibly happen. And I'm not obviously I don't mean just upsets, like, oh, everyone that's down right now comes back. In the craziest possible world, what do we see?
Thunder losing to the Pelicans.
I think Pelicans in 7 is the craziest that can go.
Because of how was it last night? Yeah, or just how game 1 went was kind of shocking because there's no Zion.
I'm gonna say
I don't see
next craziest world call out when I look at it, the Mavs reverse sweep the Clippers and win in 5.
That one's very
because
feasible.
Everyone's like, no way, bro. If Luka got hot and put up 40 back to back, which he's capable of,
Yeah,
he could solo them right the fuck out the door, and I would not be all that shocked. If Luka just averaged almost 40 a game and bounced the Clippers, I could see it. That's what I'm saying and the Suns, that Suns team was nice.
Yeah.
Like,
well, that was the year.
When it was supposed to be their year.
Yeah, we didn't lose more than 2 games in a row before we would win again.
So in that world, we've got Mavs versus Pelicans. I would say Suns in 7 is another crazy world take for me, where I think the Suns go on. I don't even think in the craziest world the Lakers are going to win the series. So I'd pass the Nuggets on again. So now we have...
It'd be a cool thing to see LeBron just take his team all the way there.
So now we have Pelicans, Mavs, Suns, Nuggets. I think the Mavs, if he solos the Clippers, he solos the Pelicans. Now we've got Luka in the Western Conference Finals in this world, and we also have him probably scoring 35 to 40 a game.
With Kyrie also.
And Kyrie's chipping in 20 to 25.
The thing is I don't see him soloing the Wolves.
Suns, Nuggets, we want to play devil's advocate. I could see the Suns on their best nights taking the Nuggets down. Like Suns in 6, I could see.
That's what I told you, remember?
But that's like devil's advocate. I really don't think so. So now we're in a hypothetical world where it's Mavs, Suns in the Western Conference
and the
Finals.
Mavs and Luka.
Luka's red hot, and the Suns just took down the Nuggets.
Dude, Luka calls Devin Booker his son and puts him on a poster multiple times.
I think. I think if we're talking craziest world, Book gets his get back.
You think
Vintage Book, and they run to the finals. They beat the Mavs in 6. And all of a sudden, the Suns are back in the finals.
Suns have KD this time. Booker also started going in
that when everybody went tough when they up. KD wasn't there, bro. That's different. And they had DA's soft ass.
Yeah.
And Brad Beal wasn't there. So in our craziest world, the Suns come out the West, beating the Mavs and the Nuggets and the Wolves. They go run the gauntlet.
The Suns game starts in 6 minutes.
So it's crazy. Now we go craziest world in the West. Can we all agree, even in the craziest world, the Celtics are not losing to the Heat? They're going on. In the craziest world.
Yeah.
I also don't think there's a craziest world where the Magic beat the Cavs. I think the Cavs win in 7 at worst.
The Cavs are just too experienced and the Magic are too young. And they're down 2-0.
Pacers, Bucks. Craziest world, Giannis takes longer to come back and the Pacers do it.
Yeah.
If Giannis has a setback and the Pacers pull it off, that's craziest world. And they come back and win in 7. And then, of course,
the
Sixers
one, it's not even crazy to say.
It's not crazy to think the Sixers come back because, we're not getting bodied in these games. We barely lost both of them. So Sixers in 7 is craziest world for sure.
They were Nick home games, right?
Yeah, they're both in MSG. So now we've got Celtics, Cavs, Pacers, Sixers. I think the Pacers don't match up with the Sixers. Not just as a Sixers fan, but because, Hallie can't guard Maxey. Their bigs can't hang with Joel, and our defense stifles everything they're trying to do. We have great perimeter defense, except for against the Knicks, apparently. And JoJo in the paint, what are Miles Turner and Pascal Siakam going to do in the paint against JoJo?
And also Celtics are beating the Cavs if they don't choke.
But we're talking devil's advocate here. I think I've already said I think the Cavs are going to win that series. Devil's advocate, they definitely win the series. If we're talking craziest world, there's no way we have a 1 seed coming out.
You did vote Celtics. I keep thinking you voted Cavs.
So I'll take that. Yeah, you guys convinced me on Cavs over this or Celtics over the Cavs, but I think there's a world where the Cavs win. So now in the East, it's Cavs, Sixers. I'm a Sixers fan. I want to say we win this so bad. They're built to be the Sixers stoppers. They're built to stop a big man. They have the 2 best defensive duo in the paint, and Allen and Mobley. This would be Cavs Suns finals, and that'd be insane.
Yeah,
insanity.
The Suns, I think,
because the Cavs are a defensive juggernaut, and the Suns are an offensive juggernaut. This is an unstoppable force against an immovable object.
Usually, though, the defense wins finals.
Yeah, but I don't know if they have enough offensively.
I mean,
I don't know if the Cavs have enough offensively.
But that's about it,
I don't know if the Cavs have enough offensively, even playing good defense, to beat the Suns.
Yeah.
Because even on their worst nights, we saw KD still got his buckets against the Wolves. So I think the Suns win the finals over the Cavs in the craziest world.
Yeah.
In the craziest world I can dream up that's like actually
Somewhat
potentially real, the Suns beat the Cavs and win the finals.
Agreed.
That would be one of my favorite playoffs like as a whole ever.
Yeah.
To see if it went just like that. Not just because I'm a Sixers fan and I'm like, see, we're not just a fucking one and done every year. Like we went all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals and pushed the Cavs.
It's cool to see like some underdogs win some games.
Yeah, it would be nice to just see like, and it'd be so cool to see how teams like the Wolves and the Thunder respond to losing like that, or the Celtics, because I'm a firm believer if the Celtics don't win the finals this year, you got to blow it up. There's nothing you can add to this team to make them better.
Yeah,
You've got a veteran in Horford. You've got everyone in your lineup can shoot. Porzingis is a good defender. Holiday is a lockdown. Jaylen Brown's a freak athlete. Jason Tatum's your number one. If you can't win with all that and Derek White, you're not going to win.
Yeah.
Start over.
Who do you
keep Tatum
trade?
and get rid of in that situation? I think you keep two of everyone as a whole. Drew got to go. I love Drew. He's such a good defender.
He deserves to be somewhere.
But he deserves to be somewhere where he fits.
Yeah.
I think you keep JT and you keep Porzingis. JB's got to go. Porzingis stays. Holiday's got to go, and maybe Derek White stays.
Who do you think would be able to match up a good trade with Jaylen Brown?
The Thunder. I've wanted JB on the Thunder since last year when everybody talked about.
Really?
Because the Thunder have, I shit you not, 15 first-round picks over the next 4 years.
Yeah, they have a lot.
If they were just like, how many you want?
Yeah, it's like
Jaylen Brown on the Thunder is unstoppable.
Yeah, but I can see Thunder being like, you know what, the young is working. Let's just keep.
Dude,
But
okay,
in this world, they lose to the Pelicans, so they're like, we'll give you 4 first-round picks for Jaylen Brown. It's a win-win.
Yeah.
The Celtics get to reset, and the Thunder get Shea a genuine number 2, like a running mate.
And
They would win the finals, in my opinion, next year with JB. If Jaylen Brown is on the Thunder, they would win the finals. They're too deep. They do everything.
There was talks. I had read an article on NBA.com that there was talks of Kevin Durant getting towards the end of his career and he wants like a redemption tour. And there was talks of him going back to OKC after his contract this year.
I don't like it.
I thought they don't even want him.
If I'm the Thunder, I'd be like, I don't even fucking want you back. You want to chase rings, and the only reason you even got any is because Steph Curry babied your ass.
And then he turned on Westbrook.
Yeah, and Westbrook's always he's the most beloved player in Thunder history because he stayed when no one else did.
Yeah.
So I would be like, no, you don't get to do the face of like our most beloved player ever dirty and then turn around and come back. I'd be like, I don't want it. I'd rather not make a finals than win one with KD. Like, because it leaves a sour taste. It's like, to me, it's like if Dame went back to Portland and won a finals. I'm like,
To be fair,
it's
Portland
too far gone, bro.
Dirty.
Yeah,
it's kind of the flip flop.
Dirty a little bit different.
I guess what would be a better analogy?
Dame was like, I've been here for so long. I want this, and they're like, no.
Yeah.
I guess a better analogy would be like if. Let me look at these playoff teams. Who am I thinking of?
If Dame also goes and wins a ring after that, he can just hold a finger.
What about PG to the Pacers? Because PG did kind of dip out on the Pacers a little bit.
I mean, he went to the Thunder and was an MVP.
Send LeBron back to the Cavs.
Dude, I mean,
that's another situation where like the team would be disgusting. If I'm the Cavs, I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah,
they've got a good thing going right now. That team is super young.
Yeah,
that's the youngest team in the
doesn't want to resign.
Yeah,
that's the youngest team in the East.
No, you know for a fact.
No, the Magic are.
LeBron calls a team up. They're saying yes. No team is saying no to LeBron.
I don't think it's that simple anymore. He's 40. He's got 2 years left, like 2 or 3 left in the NBA, and he's made it known he wants Bronny. If I'm the Cavs, I'm not going to let LeBron hold me at ransom. I'm not going to sign him for a bag, let Donovan Mitchell walk and draft his kid. No, I'm not doing it. I would be like, okay, but I'm not promising you Bronny. Donovan Mitchell has to stay, and you're not having us do this. I love LeBron, but for lack of a better way to put it, we're not LeBroning this up and trading everybody. Yeah. We're not fucking trading everybody. You're not handpicking this team. You can come be a part of it. It's not your team. Like, you can be the leader, but you're not GM here.
But they still would be like consider it. That's the thing.
Like, we're not doing le GM. They've done that twice. We're not doing it again. Like,
dude, I remember those years of just watching, like, literally the trade deadline happens. I wake up the next morning and they're like, they got rid of Isaiah Thomas, J.R. Smith, E-Man Shump. And I was like, what?
They brought in old Dwayne Wade. Like, oh my God.
He won rings over there.
I mean, the Lakers have won a finals with LeBron, but you have to, at a certain point, think about, did he do more damage than good in the long term?
I mean,
because that team when he got there had Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, Josh Hart, who's hooping for the Knicks right now. They had D'Angelo Russell the first time he was with LA before he went to Brooklyn and Minnesota. They had guys that are bona fide pieces everywhere else, and he blew it up for AD. They got one finals, and now they're falling off super hard. And you're like, if he had BI, who is essential to the Pelicans, Josh Hart, who's essential to the Knicks, Lonzo obviously is hurt, but when he's on the court, he's like one of the best defenders in the league.
He is, and he's one of the best passers.
And they had, like, if they had all these guys, would they be better off than instead of selling their soul for that one ring? The ring that some people put an asterisk next to.
Most people. I put an asterisk next to it.
I don't, because I'm a LeBron fan, so like I'm biased. But like, would they have been better off not having LeBron come in and blow it up for Anthony Davis? Because they won a ring, yeah, but like now their future looks real weird. Like, Austin Reeves is tough. D'Lo's like middle-aged. LeBron's old. AD's getting older. Like,
D'Lo's career is such a weird.
Rui Hachimura is weird because sometimes he's elite, sometimes he's a non-factor. So I think it's fair to be like, did LeBron fucking kind of wreck the Lakers for one championship, for one ring? Like,
dude, people who say, should LeBron get a statue in LA, I don't understand that argument.
I think he deserves one in Cleveland and Miami. He does not deserve one in LA.
In Miami, he didn't change the culture per se.
Final this year.
I think he did change the culture in Miami, though, because Eric Spoelstra was not proven until LeBron got there.
That's true.
And he made Spoelstra a household name. Now we know Spoelstra is one of the best coaches ever. You gotta wonder how much Eric Spoelstra learned from LeBron James.
Yeah.
How much did he learn from coaching LeBron James in his prime?
Same thing with Ty Lue. Ty Lue was a nobody when he went to Cleveland.
And now he's the Clippers coach, and he's like a big deal.
He's a pretty solid coach.
I don't want to say LeBron made those coaches, but they were not household names until after LeBron brought them on playoff runs. Like,
that's true. All right, should we wrap it up?
Yeah, we're
All
better.
right. Let's wrap it up.
We'll go start setting